What is happening, Internet? Welcome back to the Nightwing on One channel, and we've got some Bat news. If you're just joining, this is the Batman audio podcast, Knightcast, and we've got some breaking news. Well, not really breaking news. Let me break it down for you. So, Keaton was rumored about, I'd say about 6-7 months ago, to be appearing, although it wasn't confirmed then, to be in The Flash, and then the Flash director, I think it was about a month and a half ago, confirmed that Keaton would in fact be in The Flash 2020, along with Ben Affleck for his graceful exit. And now, well, since it's 2021, there's a lot going on with Mr. Keaton not only appearing in the Flash movie, as will happen whenever, they get around to filming that. Don't touch my drink. But also he will be the Batman of the DCEU. So what this means is that Ben Affleck more or less is probably done. However, that only has to do with film, like the theaters. Let me put the cat away. And we'll resume. Come here, you. You were sleeping so peacefully, and now you get yeeted. Bye-bye. Yep. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna need that drink after all. Alright, where were we before Mr. Cat bothered? Please don't explode. Don't explode. Alright, sweet. Alright, so just pay no attention to the sounds of the pouring of the drink. I needed to stay awake and to think. Alright. Oh my gosh, today was a crazy day. Okay, so Keaton coming back, and he was rumored quite a while ago that he could appear in kind of like a Nick Fury type role, meaning, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the stuff that Ben Affleck did with the original DCEU, but he was kind of like the Nick Fury of that universe. He appeared in cameos for the Suicide Squad. He had cameos planned for one of the Wonder Woman movies. He had a cameo planned for Aquaman, all this stuff. And, well, now that's obviously not happening, so the cameo, or the, what do they call it, minimal role, I think is what they call it in the industry, like a, not a cameo, but a substantial role, an important role, is now going to go to Michael Keaton. And I know a lot of people are like, whoa, Keaton, Mr. Mom, is kind of old. It's like, yeah, okay, so when the movie comes out, he's going to be pushing 70. But what if the Keaton role, which, this is just speculation because a lot of people don't really know. Some people may know, like Kevin Smith. But what if the Keaton role that they're preparing is a transition role or a mentorship role for Batman Beyond, which is something that Warner Media, AT&T, HBO Max all want to do. They all want to have a Batman Beyond thing. Batman Beyond has now been re-released on HBO Max. It's in beautiful HD. Highly recommend you guys check it out if you've never seen Batman Beyond, but of course you guys have seen Batman Beyond. There's no way. There's no way people watching this don't know what that is. With the Batman Beyond stuff, there's been some crazy rumors with that, which I think we've talked about it. I think I ranted. This is not a rant, by the way. If you came for a rant, it's not a rant. It's not a rant tonight. This is just matter of fact, like what's happening. We'll tell you how it happened, how it was confirmed by, like, trades that I guess people would say are trusted to some extent. They're not fake news. But they are pretty trusted in the film industry. Hollywood Reporter, New York Times. I wouldn't say CBR, but whatever. Those were the ones who kind of more or less confirmed the interview from the DC... Is he the film president? DC Entertainment president? I don't know. Walter Yamada, or Hamada? Is it Hamada or Yamada? One or the other. The Asian American guy who is the current president of DC after Jeff Johns and some other people left. I think it's Yamada. But he more or less was doing the whole thing of what the DC universe is going to be in terms of films for the next, did they chart out 3 years or 2 years? It was 2 to 3 years. Interestingly enough, they said that Robert Pattinson's Batman is Earth 2, which is kind of strange because that's the same world that Stargirl is in for the... Is she on the CW or the DC app? Or HBO Max? Doesn't matter. Jeff Johns' Stargirl series is Earth 2, so does that mean Robert Pattinson is the Batman of Earth 2 on Stargirl's world, or were DC executives just kind of like throwing things together and like, oh, okay, yeah, Pattinson is Earth 2, and Wonder Woman, yeah, she's Earth 1, or Earth Prime, and these other people, Syndercut is in Snyder Earth. We're not even going to give it a number. It's Snyder Earth. It's part of the multiverse, yay. But yeah, honestly, I think that DC executives have no idea what they're doing, so they just pulled a rabbit out of the hat, and they're like, Batman Earth 2 is Pattinson, not connected to the DC. It's like a standalone movie, kind of. And then they're not thinking about the Arrowverse at all, which leads me to think that the Arrowverse is coming to an end soon. Like, either they're going to be, like, separated, or they just don't care anymore. They're going to build up their multiverse through the movies and not really worry about the CW anymore, because they're really going to be pushing stuff on HBO Max. Like, for instance, Titans Season 3 with Red Hood. That's a rant for another day. Because it's way too soon. It's not that it's not a cool idea, mind you. Red Hood and Titans, very cool. But you needed to do some building with that first. Because Jason didn't die in Season 2. He stamped his little feet, he had a little post-traumatic stress, and now he's going to be Red Hood and try to kill the Titans. It's like, okay, but the first half of Season 3 is done shooting, so you can probably expect Season 3 of Titans to air, I would probably say the summer or the fall, with the next half or the next arc of Season 3 or whatever, dealing with Blackfire, Starfire's sister, and some of her planet stuff. Because it's going to be half Gotham season, half planet season, according to my source. Which makes sense, I guess. I mean, it still feels incredibly rushed, but whatever. So, you know, it's the problem with DC. Everything is rushed. So you have that stuff. So I can't see the CW doing a lot. Now, with Keaton, people are concerned that, okay, it's going to be Batwoman Beyond. I want to tell you it's not a possibility, but the fact that the former Batgirl writer and the person who wrote the Bumblebee movie and the Harley Quinn 2 movie, or Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie, whatever you want to call it. I think it was just Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. They're writing supposedly Keaton's vehicle film, or his third movie, which could go one of two ways. It could be a Batwoman Beyond, which is going to get pitchforks and people really ticked, because it would be Kate Kane, or a version of Kate Kane, except a teenager, and the mentor would be Keaton. Or you have choice number 2, which I don't hate this. I hate it, but I don't hate it as much as the Batwoman thing. Batman Beyond Story 2, which I believe Kevin Smith thinks this one is legit, or at least his source does. Our sources don't play tennis together or anything like that, but what they're thinking and how their rumor started is that Nightwing and Batgirl would be the proteges of Keaton in kind of like a Batman Beyond-esque type role for Keaton, but it wouldn't necessarily be future Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, electric guitars, synth music, Skrillex, that kind of stuff. Neon City, whatever. Wouldn't be Terry McGinnis. Dick Grayson, Nightwing, probably, and Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, as partners working with Bruce Wayne. And you know that I don't hate the whole Nightwing Batgirl pairing. I'm a big shipper for that, so you know I don't care. It just, they need to get good people to play Nightwing. What this would do, though, the problem I have with this is it would derail both the Batgirl movie and it would mess up the Nightwing movie that's been on hiatus or in development hell for how many years now? I lost track of how many years we were supposed to get a Nightwing movie. I think it was supposed to debut in 2018. It's 2021 now. And before then, it was announced in 2015? Was it the year of Arkham Knight? Oh gosh. It had to be 2016 that they first announced Nightwing. It was a long time ago. And people ask me all the time on my Twitter, at K-Wing Reviews. They're like, hey, K-Wing, what's going on with the Nightwing movie? I don't know. I haven't heard anything since like 2019, maybe. And it was supposedly a script revision, maybe. But they weren't sure because Chris McKay was doing something else. So the Nightwing movie is, I'm not going to say kaputs, but nobody knows what's going on. The only thing that I've heard about a Nightwing movie now is the possibility for one of Keaton's Batman Beyond ideas, or Batman Beyond-esque moves that DC wants to do with Proteges and Keaton in a movie together, not necessarily passing the torch of Batman, but training the next generation of younger heroes, which I guess Keaton likes because the guy's pushing 70. Whatever. So I would be angry because you would get rid of Nightwing and his solo movie, and you would kind of combine it with Batgirl and have these two youngins working with Keaton, but then just completely avoiding what people want, which is Terry McGinnis. To me, it doesn't make any sense. So what I've found over the years is when things don't make sense with DC in their films, that tends to be the route they go. I don't know why. It's just what they do. So if you hear a horrible idea, chances are that horrible idea is going to become a movie. Like when they killed Dick Grayson in the Snyderverse. That was true. DC did damage control and did not let Dick Grayson's name be said in the Justice League movie or in BVS, but guess what? They're not only going to name drop Dick Grayson in the Snyder Cut in March, you're going to see him die! Sort of. Kind of. Because that's why the Joker was brought in, Jared Leto. He is responsible for killing Robin. Although in the Suicide Squad movie, they said Harley Quinn was responsible for killing Robin, but she is not in Snyder Cut. Only Jared Leto is. And how Robin died is different. I've heard a couple different things. He's shot in an alley, which is why the place supposedly where Batman traps Superman and does the spear has some significance to Snyder's whole thing. Another thing is, the reason why Wayne Manor is burned to the ground is because Joker found out who Batman was, went to Wayne Manor, and killed Robin in Wayne Manor. But then how did Alfred live? See, this is what I don't understand. So it's one of two things. It's either the alleyway where Batman almost killed Superman, or it is Wayne Manor being burned to the ground somehow. But then what doesn't make sense to me is, okay, then why is ha 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 on the Robin thing? It would make me think that he was killed in costume. Why just kill him when he was in Wayne Manor? But they have to explain how Wayne Manor was burnt to the ground, because the Batcave is fine. Wayne Manor, not so much. So this is a problem I have with continuity and coming back to things later. So maybe they should have just name-dropped. And apparently they had this scene with Diana and Bruce, like a bonding moment where he was talking about, you know, his son who died and things like that, and it led to Wonder Bat romance teasing, which we're never going to get anyway because Ben is leaving, or not leaving. Ben is going on hiatus, I guess would be the nice way of saying this, to see what happens with Snyder Cut. If Snyder Cut is successful, then you're probably going to get a Mandalorian Batman series. Didn't hear it from me first. There are other people talking about it. I can't claim credit for it, but it makes a lot of sense. Warner has watched The Mandalorian, like how people hated the Star Wars films, the recent ones, and they really liked The Mandalorian to kind of like drive fandom crazy and do all this other stuff. So it would make sense to have that same gravitas or pull for the audience to have a Batman miniseries. Very short one, mind you. Probably be just as many episodes as the Snyder Cut, but Bat fans would get their Deathstroke and Batman battle. You'd get some more Snyder versus stuff. But it all is dependent on if Snyder Cut is successful or not. And that's been, you know, mummering around in the industry now for like, 8 months, 6 months. So it's not really big news. Some people dismiss it. Some people say, yeah, it's totally legit. I'm telling you right now, it all has to do with whether or not Snyder Cut is good. If Snyder Cut sucks, Ben Affleck is done after The Flash. Never see him again as Batman. Probably never see him in a Warner Brothers movie again because he'll be super ticked at Warner Brothers. But the only reason Ben is back is because HBO Max wanted him. So HBO Max, like, or rather Time Warner or AT&T or whoever is the owner. I keep forgetting. I think it's AT&T, but then it's Warner Media is part of AT&T, or they're like either they're the puppet of AT&T. It doesn't matter. The whole HBO Max thing was responsible for bringing Ben back. All those hashtags did work. So if you guys actually support Snyder Cut, you could probably salvage the Batman that you really like. And I do like Affleck. I'm not going to lie. I like aspects of his Batman. I don't like the dead Robin. I think that's stupid. I hate that. I hate that about Snyder. Hate that about Snyder cultists. I'm not excited to see Robin die. Especially my favorite Robin. Because the only reason I like Dick Grayson is because he becomes Nightwing. No Nightwing. So yeah, that to me it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, so we're gonna kill Nightwing in the Snyder Cut, or rather Grayson. Gonna see him die, or allude to his death this time around. That's why Jared Leto's back. He gets a flashback scene, and then he gets a what do they call it? A nightmare sequence, or future Earth. They should just call it future Earth, because that's what the nightmare sequence is. It's not, oh, it's another reality. No. Superman goes crazy after Lois dies. Darkseid has taken over Earth, and you have like a remnant of heroes and villains that are still alive, trying to build the cosmic treadmill. So yeah, the Flash's thingy where he runs on and he goes back. Yeah, so they're trying to get parts to build that. Cyborg is mostly sort of alive. Batman is still around. Joker's still around. Deathstroke and a couple other people. Deathstroke, Joker, and one other hero die. I'm not going to spoil who it is, but you can probably guess what Justice Leaguer is still alive. And Flash goes back in time, and then he's ripped apart in the time, or whatever they call it. Not the vortex, the Speed Force. So that's why his message is all convoluted. Everything in Snyder's universe, like him or not, was all going to make sense. Like, something you saw before in BVS would make sense in Snyder Cut, or the Snyder miniseries, or whatever. You have to give it to Zach, because when he makes a saga or whatever, he has a point A, B, C, and D. Everything eventually connects. And it works. It's just, if you like his vision or not, that's the problem. I'm kind of like 50-50 on his vision. Some things I really like. Some things I really, really, really hate. So it's kind of like a love and hate relationship, where it's like a pendulum going up and down. Either I really like him one day, or I super hate him the next. And as a long-term Batman fan, it's interesting. Snyder. Anyway, so with Keaton, all that stuff's going to be yeeted out the window now. All the cameo roles Ben was going to do, all going to Keaton. Ben made more sense, honestly, because we'd get to see him as Batman. People are more familiar with him. It's always weird to recast the main actor. I don't really know how they're going to go about doing it. Something to do with the Flash movie. Not a lot of details are about that, because I've gone through so many different revisions of the Flash movie. It doesn't make any sense anymore. It started as Flashpoint with Negan, or Deegan, or whatever his name is. And then it became something else entirely. And then Keaton wanted to be the Batman, the evil Batman, or the grumpy Batman, or whatever dark Batman that Flash met. And they're like, no, we'd rather Flash meet 89 Batman. And Keaton's team's just kind of like, what? So, I mean, it is what it is. So, somehow Flash is going to end up meeting Keaton. And then something's going to happen to Ben, where Ben is probably either going to be disintegrated, die happy, or just cease to exist to be happy. And we'll get Keaton as either Multiverse Commander Batman, where he'll suit up like once or twice, and you'll have the what's the word am I looking for? Segue? No, not segue. That's not a good word. Branching point? No, branching point's not a good word. Building blocks is lame. No. Leaping off point. Yeah. You would have the ability to eventually start the Batman Beyond thing with Keaton not really doing much anymore, except working with a protege, which makes sense, but it only works if they do Terry McGinnis. Now, they are not completely against the idea of doing Terry McGinnis, but for the sake of diversity, they want to do Batgirl. I kid you not. It's like you have multiple heads of DC executives fighting each other over this, not even paying attention to the fact that the whole forced diversity thing doesn't really work in DC Comics, and sales are kind of... So you got one side of executives that want it to be a woman, and then you have another side, the purists, which we don't have our Dave Filoni in DC right now. I guess your Dave Filoni would be Jeff Johns, which Snyder people don't like. And then you have the Snyder people that, well, Snyder side, that would be like more full-blown diversity, this and that, not really comic book purists. And then Jeff Johns' side would be the purist side, and maybe the Amada side, and they want Terry McGinnis. And right now, the Snyder side has gained a lot of power, and they want Batgirl or Batwoman, so Terry is going to... probably. So the purists aren't doing too well. Like, the comic book people that want it to be Terry, probably not going to be Terry. Are you going to get a Batman Beyond movie? Definitely. Is it going to be the one you want? No. Probably not. You'll get Keaton. See, this is the thing with DC fans. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It'd be very simple to give us Terry McGinnis, but no. Doubtful. Doubtful. Doubt. I have... Unless DC Future State is an absolute failure, because they are... I know I go all over the place in my podcast, but I'll just let you guys know, because I already had an Alka-Seltzer prior to reading my email this morning. But DC Future State, they don't want it to end with a miniseries. Ridley, or whatever his name is, Mr. Ridley, and a few other people at DC, even though things are very bad right now, they want DC Future State to be the main continuity. They want Black Batman. They want all this other stuff, and they have more stories planned besides DC Frontier, which DC Frontier is supposed to be like kind of a combination of the current DC universe, which ended temporarily for DC Future State to jump ahead into a possible future, and then I guess they would collide and meet and fight like some type of thing, and then afterwards, what the DC Future State crowd want is they want Future State to be the main continuity. Even though Jim Lee said, no, that's not going to happen, you have a big group, along with the new Batman writer, that are pushing for this, and I'm not saying it could happen, I'm saying there's a possibility of it happening now. So the whole DC 5G thing that we were popping Alka-Seltzers for and, you know, trying to kid ourselves, it's never going to happen. It could. It all depends. I mean, if Future State is successful, then they're going to push very hard to yeet Bruce Wayne, yeet Superman, Wonder Woman, all those characters that, you know, they've been pushing very, very hard, and it would be a new 52 thing. So, I mean, I wouldn't tell you it if I didn't know about it. So I've been kind of depressed over that, and I was just kind of like, wow. So, I mean, I knew that there was a problem when the author of the next Batman has been doing a lot of those social warrior sites and talking about his vision of the Batman and things that he wants, and using keywords like diversity and privilege and all this other stuff, and why he doesn't like Bruce Wayne, and, you know, what Jim Lee has said about this to him. So either Jim Lee is promising this guy more than he's getting, or the new Batman writer knows a lot more than we do, and I've been right about things, and I hate that, because I've been telling people that it's just a miniseries, which it was, and still could be, if it flops. But if it succeeds, then all new, all different DC. Take or leave it. Who knows how many years. Even if the ship goes down, burning to the ground, or sinks, you know, DC might be set in their ways and no turning back. The reason why they're doing this is because of the whole argument that AT&T had when they yeeted a bunch of crazy checkmark people, is Bruce Wayne was in the movies, and it would make sense to have Bruce Wayne stay Batman in the comics, and Nightwing and all these other characters. And the crazies got a hold of this idea, and they're like, well, if we introduce this character now in the comics, then we can make a movie about it. And there you go. So that's why in the future Batman will always be black. Probably. If it succeeds. Because nobody has a backbone for tradition, more or less, in film. But that's a rant for another day, and like I said, I don't have enough Alka-Seltzer tonight, and I really don't want to get into it. I don't know if I agree with it 100%. I don't even know if it's real. Ridley could just be blowing smoke out his butt. I don't know. But he was tooting his horn quite a bit about, what's that comic that he's currently doing besides Batman? Give me a minute. It's been a long day. The Other Side of History. I think it's called The Other Side of History. Yeah. Because he was there to talk about that stuff, like the Black Lightning and the John Stewart stuff, and then he talked about how his vision for Batman is not just this arc. It's not, he says people are fooling themselves and thinking it's just future state. There's more. There's a lot more. And people either be happy with it or people outrage. So if it's successful, I mean, I think this guy's living in delusional land if he honestly believes that the book is going to be like the best-selling Batman book of all time. Especially the stuff that he said about Bruce Wayne, which he is totally wrong about. But whatever. I'm not going to get into that because it has really no relevance to it other than, maybe Batman changing in the movies. But at least for now, you're going to get 3 movies with Pattinson as Batman, unless he gets thrown off the set or quits because he's causing problems, supposedly. I don't know whether to believe this or not. Honestly, because, I mean, Pattinson seems like kind of a chill guy, but, oh my gosh, the things going around about him is insane. I don't even know if it's true or not, but the fact that a lot of these rumors match up is insane. Have you guys heard that one thing where Pattinson didn't really get COVID, and he showed up to set, like, looking all thin and lanky, and Matt Reeves blew a gasket and yeeted him off the set? And told him he had to go and train for like 2 weeks because the problem was the stunt guys were keeping up with their regiment, and supposedly during the hiatus from the movie, Pattinson wasn't hitting the gym or doing any of the exercises, and he lost like 25 or 30 pounds, and the stunt guys who were around the same weight that Pattinson was before the film went on hiatus looked how Batman was supposed to look, and Matt Reeves had veins popping out of his neck, so they devised a way of shutting down production, and they said he had COVID or whatever. That's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of these supposed arguments that are continuing on set that people who are working on the set have talked about, and YouTubers have made videos about this, and sites have ran with different aspects of it. I mean, most of the stuff being said about Pattinson being lazy and hard to work with and Val Kilmer-esque could be true, could not. But the fact that it's happening so much where people are talking about it from different publications, usually with a lie, when a lie is said in the film industry or the game industry, it changes quite a bit. If there's consistency with the lie that's coming from different sources, most likely it's true, or a lot of it is. Because, I mean, a good example of this would be, okay, if it was a flat-out lie and publications were doing different stuff with this, they would say something like, Matt Reeves was upset. One person would say because, what's his name? Pattinson showed up looking thin. Another site would be like, there's problems on set because Pattinson has an attitude or hates the script. Pattinson doesn't like working with Catwoman, blah, 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 blah. So the fact there's so much consistency with the thing about his weight and the thing about how he doesn't really want to do a lot of the action sequences, he doesn't like the costume. I don't know. I want to see more information about it, but it sounds like he's having a meltdown. And even though he's scheduled for 3 movies, like a trilogy, I don't know if it'll happen or not. Honestly, we'll find out. I mean, I think from the trailer, he looks like a great Batman, but if the guy's difficult to work with, who knows? But too many places have been saying about this for, 2 or 3 months now, that things are not going well on set, and I feel bad for Matt, but he should have just gone with Ben Affleck's Batman, because it's better. People wanted an Arkham movie. That's all we wanted. Yes, we've seen Arkham stuff before, but I mean, oh gosh, guys. I'm so close to getting permission to talking about in detail what the Arkham thing was. I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith is going to beat me to it and a couple other people because they've actually gotten to read the script or the final script before Warner Brothers said no. And it was just, oh my gosh, it's like an Arkham game from what I heard. It's like an Arkham story, and oh, so bad I want to read it. And then I'm going to cry afterwards because some things just aren't meant for this world. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on with Robert, supposedly. I haven't really chimed in about it because it's kind of like, I don't really want to make a video about it. Maybe I'll talk about it on my podcast. There you go. I talked about it for a second. He might be a prima donna. He might not be. Hopefully he stays on because DC's plan is Keaton for the DCEU and Pattinson for Earth 2. And the fact that the big executive for DC Films mentioned that Pattinson is supposed to get a trilogy when he talked to the New York Times for that special interview. That's kind of a big deal that Pattinson has going forward. So if there are issues on set, I hope they work it out because it's really hard to be introduced to a Batman for one movie and then they're gone. At least with Keaton, we got 2 movies, but the whole transition between Val Kilmer and George Clooney always felt a little weird, you know? So, just for the state of consistency of world building, I would like Pattinson to stay and finish his job. That's what I would like because it's already I saw his Batman in action. I want to see more of it. You know, I want to see where it goes. I want to see the world they create with it. As for Keaton, I don't really want him to be a DC Films Batman. I want him to be multiverse Batman. I think that's cool. But I would like Affleck to still be involved in some sense. And I just have a feeling that Affleck is going to be stuck on HBO Max, and Batman in theaters are just going to be Keaton and Pattinson. Those would be the only silver screen Batman that they'll allow, and then you'll have your Mandalorian Affleck Batman on HBO Max, which makes sense, and if they want to make money, cool, but at the same time, fans will kind of be disappointed because you really won't, in a sense, get that Batman movie you wanted to see. You'd get like a Batman miniseries, which is still cool, but I think people would still complain about it and be like, no, it's not the same. I wanted to see a movie with Batman and Affleck, and it's like, shut up. It's good enough. Mandalorian's awesome. Batflecklorian would be epic too, and fans would eat it up. Ben would eat it up. But if the Snyder Cut sucks, then forget about it, because DC executives don't like the Snyder Cut. A lot of them don't. And I don't know. Did you guys listen to Kevin Smith's Fat Man on Batman? I think it was like a couple weeks ago. He was talking about Snyder Cut after talking to Zach and other people. He mentioned how the media has everything wrong with the Snyder Cut because they're saying, like the Snyder Cut, it's going to be a clear ending, and DC executives don't like it because it's stupid. It was stupid in 2017 and blah, 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 blah. But according to Kevin Smith and some other people I trust, they're saying that, no, the Snyder Cut doesn't really have that clear ending that it can be like, okay, this is the end of the Snyderverse. This is a great ending. He says it could feel like a cliffhanger, or it could be a branching off point for a continuation. So something is going to happen with the Snyder Cut miniseries that is going to not be like a complete ending where you're just like, oh my gosh, that was so great. It's finally over. No, you're going to see this thing and you're going to be like, and what now? And either DC's going to give it to you, or you're just going to be like rocking back and forth like a drug addict, you know, being like, I need it, man. I need the next episode now, man. Come on. What's going on? It's been 3 years. I need to know how this ends. Ah! You know? So, yeah. That's a possibility. If you go by with what Kevin Smith's camp says. You know, Zach has this whole vision plan, but if this thing doesn't work out, then he's just going to walk away with this thing that's not complete. Now, I don't know if DC is going to make Zack actually make some type of ending with his editing to not like give you that opportunity for seeing more of the characters that you're going to be introduced to, like Martian Manhunter and stuff like that. I guess you'll find out in 2 months, but according to what a few other people have seen and heard about, it doesn't have that big finish that executives are saying closes the door on the Snyderverse. No. At least right now, if the editing changes, then you know something happened behind the scenes, and that's why Zack isn't coming back to Warner Brothers, because he's already talking about going to, supposedly, another movie company or something. I don't know. I don't really follow Zack. I don't. We're not good. Anyone who kills Dick Grayson the way that he is not a friend of mine. Or do I even admire them? I'm going to see through the Snyder Cut what they had planned, but I don't like it. I'll say that. But I can appreciate the art, and I can appreciate the stuff the director did to show us the movie, but I think he's an idiot! Personally. Who only ever read Frank Miller's stuff. So, yes, that's what I have to say about Zack. With Keaton, though, it's going to be so weird seeing him interact with Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and how are they going to do this? It doesn't make... is somehow Flash running around going to make it so that Keaton is just, hey, I'm Affleck Batman, except now I'm 5'9", and instead of being like 280 pounds, I'm like 140. Yeah! You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Try wrapping your head around that logic. Also, I've aged about 30 years. Wait, no. 25 years. Yeah! I'm Batman. But I don't put the suit on much anymore because my back. I'm backache man now. I love Keaton. Don't get me wrong. Keaton was one of my favorite Batman when I was a kid. But Keaton got replaced by Kevin Conroy's animated series Batman. The moment Batman opened his voice in the cat and claw thing that I saw on Saturday morning, was like, oh my gosh, what is this? That's Batman! Who's this guy in black killing people? That's Mr. Mom as a murderer. That's who that is. Mr. Mom kills people, Dad. Batman is on TV. Mr. Mom is putting bombs in people's pants and throwing them in the ditches. Batman doesn't do that. Why is he smiling? Is he some kind of psychopath? What are you doing, Tim Burton? Yeah, so that was my conflict with Keaton and Kevin Conroy as a kid, because one Batman was literally blowing up clowns, and the other one was putting people in jail. Oh my gosh, to see the different versions of it. And also, I like both versions. I do, I admit it. Keaton's Batman was just like so much like Bob Kane's Batman, and it worked. Bill Finger. And animated series Batman is still my favorite incarnation because it's based on Danny O'Neill, Neil Adams, 1970s, 80s Batman. Very, very well done. Great detective stories, good noir stuff, mystery, action, great storytelling, with exception to like 6 or 7 episodes out of 80 that were just lame. Even the lamest episode I would watch over pretty much anything on TV today. Even the werewolf episode. Maybe Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, too. Or Tiger, Tiger. Except I really hate that episode, too. It's stupid. But yeah, I mean, I just been trying to wrap my brain around how they're going to do Batman Beyond, because Keaton... The whole aspect of why Bruce becomes retired in Batman Beyond has to do with him picking up a gun and nearly shooting someone. And Mr. Keaton, we know what he does in his Batman movies. The man is a murderer, and he likes it. So I can't see him being like... I would see him in reality. Okay. In reality, he would pick up a gun, and he would shoot somebody as his Batman. And if he was having a heart attack, he'd smile while he did it. Bang! Hey, and then he'd make a pun or something, you know? So, I mean, I had this idea, what was it, 6 or 7 months ago, that maybe the reason he retires is because an innocent dies and it's his fault. Like somebody of importance, like a senator or a mayor or something. And it's indirectly because of his actions while being Batman that he has to retire, something like that. I just don't really see how it could work, because they've already said that the Batman that the Flash is going to meet is 8992 Batman. That means Murder Bat. Everybody called Affleck Murder Bat, but Murder Bat was Keaton. Affleck was Manslaughter Batman. There's a difference, people. Keaton knowingly knew what he did. Ben Affleck just kind of... people died. Because reasons. Maybe they were flung halfway across the warehouse, or he ran them over with his car. But they didn't do a pan shot to him and be kind of like, heh. You know, it's like, if they would have zoomed in on Batman after he ran over someone in the Affleck mobile, then that would be murder. It's manslaughter. He's not necessarily aware because he's fighting crime. Keaton knows. And Keaton was kind of like, it makes sense. Why would Batman throw people in jail? Yeet. You know? And you can't say that Keaton didn't kill people, because he killed a lot of people. He shot them. He blew them up. He missiled them. He even blew up penguins that were not robots. Everybody was like, oh, the penguins are robots. Nuh-uh. They were little penguins. They just looked robotic because it was 1992. They were actual penguins that had things on their head that were being controlled by Penguin. But some of them Batman killed. And they were penguins. Nobody talks about the penguins. Maybe they don't want to think that Batman could kill penguins, but he did. Go and watch it again. There were some penguins that just, they got Batmaned. Oh my gosh. Where was PETA? Where was PETA for Batman and penguins? So, I have no idea how they're going to make this work. It seems like... I made this joke on my Twitter a while ago. It was a good joke, by the way. But I said, okay, this is what DC is doing. You got this guy in this room with these executives, right? And they're sitting there, and the guy just randomly starts throwing objects at the wall and seeing if they stick. And he walks over to them, and he writes with a pen what the name of the idea was. And the executives sit there, and if something stays there long enough, they clap. If it falls on the floor, then they know it's a bad idea. So they're sitting here in their little executive room, they're tossing things up against the wall, and seeing if it sticks or not. And that is DC Films in a nutshell. That's not DC Animated. DC Animated, they have a bowl, and they have names, and they pull it out, and that's how they make their movies. So I think that's a little bit better than throwing things at the wall and seeing if it sticks. But I like the Keaton idea. I don't know how they're going to make it work. Because Batman Beyond had a clear reason why he quit. Does he quit because Alfred dies? Because Alfred was really old. Even in 1992. He was very old. So I can't see that as the reason why Batman would quit being Batman. His wife Selina died because supposedly Selina's going to be his wife. She's in talks to come back. So is she dead? Are they divorced? Did he quit being Batman because it wasn't with Keaton the problem with all of this? Affleck you get, okay? Let's do a character study first, guys, okay? So Affleck, you understand why he's Batman, right? You can feel the pain of him losing his parents. Keaton got kind of solace when he off Joker. You know, even in Batman Returns, it doesn't look like he's too broken up that Joker died. It was just kind of like, that guy killed my parents. I'm going to kill him. I'm fine. Then he goes into the next movie, kills a bunch of other people. He doesn't need therapy. He's Batman. He's great. He loves it. Puts on a suit, murders people, comes home, has fishy swirl. That was Keaton. So we never really got to see the trauma that was involved with his parents' death. It was just a guy with a bunch of money who put on a play suit and killed people. I mean, fought crime. You know? So what is his reason? What are they going to do? Are they going to kind of combine elements and retcon Keaton murdering people? Or is it just going to be a joke why he retires? Like, maybe he breaks his back. Maybe the Batmobile just didn't stop when he said stop and he was standing in front of it. I mean, Keaton is a comedic actor. You could go with that angle, put Batman in a wheelchair. He was in a wheelchair in Batman Beyond. I don't know. I want to see this happen, but I don't know how they're going to do it. Can you imagine that? Keaton is here. He's fighting crime, sort of. He's in his cool Batman Beyond suit. He calls for the Batwing. The Batwing hits him. That's how Batman retires. Keaton says a little joke afterwards, and then he's in a wheelchair for so many years, and for whatever reason, Flash shows up in his world, and he has to don his bat suit, sort of, with a Kingdom Come brace. I don't know. It's a stupid idea. Never mind. It was funny to me. Everything is funny to me right now because I've been up so long. I don't know. I'm just scratching my head. Like, I think I did a more concise video about the whole Keaton, how it would work. I think we came to the idea that it would have to be an innocent person died, and he felt guilt over it, and the right thing that he did was to retire. And then all these years later, he becomes Batman again when some kid boosts the Batsuit, and that kid is Terry McGinnis. Although now that kid will probably be Barbara Gordon or Dick Grayson, and they're not even going to be Robin. It'd be Nightwing and Batgirl. So they're just going to skip a step completely and make Dick Grayson Nightwing in Batman Beyond when he was never Robin, but make him Terry's age. It just throwing ideas at the wall, see what sticks. That's DC Films. I said I wasn't going to rant, but I ranted. I'm just like Amber. Amber says, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about this." 10 minutes later, she said stuff. And Kit still said stuff. I said a bunch of stuff. I'm still saying stuff. I'm confused. I think Affleck would be better. I think also, let me just say this. Not a Keaton hater. I've got a giant Keaton figure that scares my cat, and I got a Hot Toys Batman that somebody got me that was Keaton. Really cool. I've never opened it out of the box because I don't want to damage it. And, the Keaton suit was my favorite suit in this game. And that movie just really spoke to me when I first saw it. And if it wasn't for the animated series, that would be how I interpret Batman to be. Thank God for the animated series. But, that movie just really changed my perspective on Batman in a lot of ways. And in the beginning, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then as more Batman stuff happened over the years, I saw it for the Tim Burton-esque movie that it was. I still like watching it. I just feel the animated series is far, 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 far superior. And Mask of the Phantasm is the best movie ever for Batman. And then the Keaton films would be above Kilmer and Clooney. And I would pit them like kind of with the Bale movies and things like that. But yeah, I used to have like a top 5 or 10 Batman movies list. And Mask of the Phantasm was number 1, easily. Because that is just so well done. You understand why he's Batman. You understand the pain involved of being Batman. How he can't have a normal life. How his actions kind of indirectly affected other people. His future, what would have been his wife and her family. And it just, it was such a well-done movie that it's like you wanted to see that as a live-action film because people don't really take it as serious because it's animated. If that was a live-action film, oh my gosh. That would have been amazing. Because what makes a good movie or a good comic book or a good video game is it has a good story. And that's a fantastic story. It's very well done. One of the best comic book movies of all time, and it's almost 30 years old. Live action, animated, anything. Very well done. But, yeah, I feel like it's such a missed opportunity not to have it be Affleck as the Nick Fury character, because it feels like that's who they were grooming him to be. When you saw the cameo in Suicide Squad, both his Batman showing up and Bruce Wayne showing up, that was the beginning. The role that Snyder had him play that we never saw in Justice League that you'll see in, 2 months now, can't believe. He was kind of like that leader guy that is responsible for bringing everybody together. Kind of like the Duke of the universe, And now that's going to be somebody a little bit different. And how they're going to do it, I don't know. Maybe they have really talented people writing this, but if I was responsible for writing Keaton's reintroduction into this DC shared universe, I would say no. And I'm fine with writing a standalone, like Batman 3 in the Burton universe, and seeing like it be like a Batman Beyond vehicle where 20 or 25 years have passed, and we use the same logo that we did for Batman Returns, and then we have something called Go Beyond or Beyond Batman, and you have like this red logo on the poster, and you bring Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer or Kim Basinger, and you have Billy D. Williams in it and all this other stuff. That would make sense to me. To be like, all right, yeah, let's go do that. People want a Batman Beyond movie. Let's cast Terry. Let's write this. I'm pumped. I'm sorry, what? You want this? No. That'll never... Excuse me? You want Keaton to be DCEU Batman. I'm sorry, what month is this? This is April, right? This is April Fool's, right? No? I quit. I can't do it. There's no way that I can explain how this guy from a very stylized world, who is Batman and may be the only costumed hero in his world, for what we know, and bring him into this multiverse universe that is not stylized or great architecture and heroic. I don't know. I honestly, right now, I can't even think how I would do it. I feel like I would end up locking myself in a room if I was the writer and just be there for days staring at the wall until I had like a thick lumberjack beard and wrote my name on the script and then turned it in. I quit. Because I don't see how it would really work, especially if they want, okay, we need you to somehow connect this to the Keaton movies, but also we want to do Batman Beyond, so come up with a reason why he's Batman Beyond. Why he quits. And it'd be like, at first it'd be like, okay, I saw the animated series, I know why Batman quit. I write that. I watch the first 25 minutes of Batman 89. And I take a pen and then I scribble all over the idea of Batman not killing and picking up a gun and shooting somebody, or thinking about it, because it doesn't work with Keaton. And then I think about maybe his butler died, but then think about his butler would already be dead if he's in his 70s. Unless Alfred found the Lazarus pit or something. I don't see Alfred being around. Maybe Ace the Bat Hound is around, but we were never introduced to Ace. We were never introduced to Dick Grayson. He has no Bat family. There was going to be a comic book called Batman 89, but it got scrapped because people were like, nobody really cares about this universe anymore, so we don't need to flesh out these characters or continue this. There's no reason. He's never going to come back as Batman anyway. We're going to get Clint Eastwood to do Batman Beyond. We don't need Keaton. Keaton comes back. Keaton has nothing after 1992, and now it's my job, theoretically, not me personally, but as the writer, it's my job to connect 1992 Batman, who said, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, goodwill toward men and women, and have a cat, Isis, and drive off with Alfred into the night, back to wherever, and then the bat symbol. And I'm supposed to continue that, all that history, from 1992 all the way to 2022, and make it make sense somehow. Nope. 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 Not gonna. Couldn't do it. Standalone movie? Oh, yeah. Easy peasy. Shared universe? Replacing Ben Affleck? Nope. I'm not. I fold. I would fold. I would crack under pressure. You'd find me in Arkham. Honestly. I love Keaton as Batman. I think he's great. I just feel like this is not going to go the way that they're thinking because Affleck has a big fan base. And if you look at the ratio for the rumored announcement, because it's not really official until Keaton says, I'm Batman, again on his Twitter, and then people start wilding out like, oh my gosh, he's back! What does Keaton talk about? Politics all the time. Did he talk about anything Batman related? No. He could break the internet today just tweeting, I'm Batman in Flash, or I'm Batman, DC Films. And then people would lose their minds. And everybody would be talking about it for like a week until something happens again. Story-wise, comic books, video games, who knows. But it'd be fun. It'd be something fun Keaton could do that would actually, I don't know, make people happy for a little bit. But nah, Keaton doesn't want to do that. That'd be great, though. I would do that if I was Keaton, just to troll people. Be like, yeah. It's fun. I mean, you have all these fans everywhere. But the ratio for these announcements about, Keaton replacing Ben is it's kind of 50-50. That I don't think DC is really thinking this through, and Ben wants to keep playing Batman. I mean, he came back and he did the reshoots. Everybody, I remember the naysayers, okay? I'm pro Affleck. I'm not pro Snyder, okay? That's what people need to understand about me. I'm not a Snyder cultist. I am an Affleck fan. I think that it was a missed opportunity for him. There was a lot of stories that he could tell. I feel bad that his Batman movie got scrapped because it was actually good. If it was a bad movie, yeah, pull the plug. But, because they didn't want to go with that direction of storytelling for Batman, they would have made the Arkham community happy. They would have made Arkham fans. They would have made comic book fans. They would have made animated series fans happy. Snyder fans might not have liked it too much, but who cares? Like, Batman fans would have eaten up this movie, and it probably would have been the best Batman film we've ever seen. And it would have been made on a budget in just one location. But no, we don't want to do that. Nobody wants an Arkham movie. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants... Just do the Matt Reeves thing. Everybody will like that, maybe. Split ratio. So, I mean, I was happy to see the ratio on a lot of these, Twitter posts about Keaton and Pattinson be the only Batman on silver screen, because there are a lot of Affleck fans that have more or less the same opinion. They're done with the DC cinematic universe. They don't care anymore. Affleck was the only thing really keeping them there. They don't like Snyder. They don't like the direction of the films. They don't want Batwoman Beyond. Keaton's too old. How is Keaton going to do this? I think Keaton could pull it off if the script is good, but I can't see him running around in a batsuit. No offense to Keaton. I think he could put the batsuit on a little bit, but DCEU Batman, unless they're going to deep fake him, like, I'm not going to say who style, but if they deep fake Keaton and have a younger actor running around, yeah, totally you could do it. But I don't think deep fake technology is quite there yet. Maybe it is, but I don't know. I would say that the Affleck Batman that people have seen, they know is a very physical role. Very powerful role. That Batman is a powerhouse. You look at him and you just feel like, dang, that guy could kill me. Or, whoa, that guy's scary. He just did something from the shadows, and that was totally a Batman thing. Whether or not you like Syndercut, okay? I kid you not. When you saw the Batman scenes, you liked it. You thought to yourself, that's comic book Batman. He just did something cool from the shadows. He just used that gadget to intimidate people. He hardly talks. He fights very brutal. He incorporates his gadgets. He's very practical. He uses theatricality more so than Bale did. And we as moviegoers and Batman fans were robbed of the Batman movie that we were supposed to get. The Arkham film. Still a possibility of getting a miniseries about it, but it won't be the same. There's just something about seeing the movie happen in front of you and knowing that it's a movie. There are some people that I've talked to, and they're like, yeah, I mean, if the Affleck miniseries happens, it'll be cool, but it won't have that same impact. Because it's not a movie, it's a TV show. Be a very awesome TV show, but there's just something about cinema that's, when it's done great or well, it's incredible. TV shows, to have that same impact, very hard to pull off, especially something that could dethrone the animated series, which hasn't happened. Has it almost been 30 years since the animated series? It's getting there. It's been that long, and there hasn't been a Batman animated or superhero show that's really dethroned that mentality and, you know, just that admiration. Because even Spectacular Spider-Man, which is an amazing show, basically captured and emulated that formula from Bruce Timm and company and made their Spider-Man show. And that's why people like it so much, is because there's a familiarity to it. That people are just kind of like, I like this show, but I can't really see why. And then you look at the design and the feel of the show and the way the characters are done, and it's almost very similar to the animated series and how they did it, where everything feels kind of like a mini movie as opposed to an episode. Like, it just grabs your attention and sucks you into that world for 22 minutes, and then when it's over, you're just kind of like, wow, that was really awesome. It didn't feel like I was watching a cartoon, you know? So to get that same impact with an Affleck Mandalorian type thing, I don't see it having that same draw as if we actually got to see the Arkham movie as opposed to Arkham miniseries. Yeah, Arkham miniseries, you'll get probably more cameos. It'll be longer, but did it need to be longer? The movie was perfect the way that they were going to do it, and DC executives robbed us, more or less. I'll get to the super chats at the end of this. Thank you, guys. But yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for Affleck fans, I do. But I mean, you know, DC only has one other Batman that is willing to come back. This is important, okay? Bale doesn't want to be back. Bale's done. Bale said no to even a cameo in the multiverse. And he's over in Marvel now. He's never going to come back as Batman. Even if he's a method actor, so if he doesn't want to do something, he doesn't do it. He did his Batman. He's done. He doesn't want... Him and Nolan both don't want their universe to really show up in the multiverse. Even if you threw like so much money at them, they have so much artistic integrity that it's a no-go. And they asked him. They asked Bale before Keaton, because Bale is still very popular, and Bale said no. Well, I mean, he didn't say it in a nice way. You would probably think about that scene with Wolverine and young Magneto and Professor X in the bar. That was probably Bale's response. You know? They were done. They don't want to be bothered with it. They don't want to reprise. They don't want to do anything. And before Affleck was brought into Zack Snyder's thing, they did consider bringing Bale as Batman in BVS. That didn't go well. Because, you know, Bale doesn't want superheroes or anything in their universe. They just wanted it to be like this very realistic thing where a Batman could operate. Even though the ending is not ambiguous, he does live. I knew that before they spoiled it years later. Bale said he lived. Selena said he lived, and even Nolan said he lived. And his brother, who wrote it, said he lived. Tom Hardy says he's dead. But Tom Hardy's like one of the only ones that says that Bruce didn't survive the thing. The whole autopilot being fixed is a clear indication that he lived. But there are still people that are like, no, he's totally dead. And it's so much better that he died. It's like, I don't know. I think he deserved a happy ending after all the crazy stuff he went through. And Alfred hallucinating, that's just mean. They're making fun of poor Alfred. So, but yeah, Bale didn't want to come back, doesn't care. Doesn't really care for the character anymore either, because his Batman was his Batman. He doesn't care about other versions of Batman. Keaton is getting up there in years, and, movies are going to be very picky for him, so he was actually pretty smart at being like, yeah, I'll do it, with provisions. So, yeah. The reason why even Keaton was brought in is because he was Batman. Like, for a lot of people, he was, like, their Adam West, except more so because he was movie Batman. And there are still people my age that whenever you think about Michael Keaton or you see Michael Keaton, you're like, that's Batman, And there are people that have that same opinion with Bale, but Bale has never, ever been open to the idea of coming back. Not for Batman Beyond, not for anything. Keaton joked around 15 years ago, that if Timmy came back, Timmy is Tim Burton, he would totally do an older Batman. He says the thing is, Warner Brothers will never bring Timmy back. And if Timmy doesn't come back, I'm not coming back. But apparently, he likes the Flash script at least, and he wants to do it. But what's odd is either they're throwing a lot of money at him to make him richer, because I'm really surprised that Disney isn't holding on to the Vulture, but that leads me to believe Vulture's probably going to die in Spider-Man 3, which will definitely free Keaton up, or he's going to die in the Morbius movie, which would free Keaton up, because you can't really hold on to a dead character and be like, you can't work at DC. Oh, wait, yes you can, because we killed you. So now Keaton's free to do whatever he wants. And Keaton has always been very, very picky about what he does. Like, the script has to be good. He has to like the character. He likes Batman. He just doesn't like the suit because he's claustrophobic. Well, I mean, he likes his version of Batman. I don't think he's really read a lot of comic books or seen the animated series. Not that I know of, because whenever he talks about his Batman, he mentions Tim's Batman. Or him and Tim's. Timmy. Calls Tim Burton Timmy. So that's why whenever you see an interview with Keaton, if he says Timmy, he's talking about Burton. Or Tim. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but he still has a lot of respect for Tim Burton. And for the longest time, he was set in his ways to be like, oh, I'll come back and play Batman, but it has to be with Tim. If it's not with Tim, then no. But the script must be good. But here's the thing, okay? What I thought, and a lot of people, was, yeah, Keaton's going to come back for Flash, but it doesn't make sense that he would come back and be the DCEU Batman, because it's a very physical role. And Keaton is a very good actor, very beloved actor, but I don't believe that a 69, 68, 70-year-old man can handle the physical aspect of the DCEU Batman. Robert Pattinson surprised me. If they show me a clip with Keaton in the Batsuit fighting like that, I will take it back. I'll be like, age is but a number. Keaton still got it. But I think I'm right this time. I don't think they can whip Keaton into that type of shape to do that, so it has to be a mentor role. And it's a shame, because there was so much more that people could have done with Affleck, and he just got into shape again to do, what was it, like an hour or hour and a half worth of new footage or something like that for Snyder Cut. Like, he got ripped again. He's still young enough to do a lot with the character, and to just not be able to do it is kind of depressing, because if he wasn't interested in it, he wouldn't have reprised his role. He wouldn't have accepted the offer for the Flash. Like everybody said, he would be like, I hate the fans, which he doesn't. He loves Batman. I don't want to do this. He's in a good headspace now. He's in great shape. And, he trends, like, all the time on Twitter. There are very few actors that trend as much as Batfleck does. That says something. Even when there's no news, you'll randomly see Batfleck trending tens of hundreds of thousands, and it's like, what's going on? What are people doing? Oh, they're just talking about how much they like Batfleck. That's the impact that character had on people. And he didn't even get his own movie. So it's a huge missed opportunity. So, yeah, I honestly believe Batfleck, provided Snyder Cut doesn't suck, you'll probably see him get a miniseries. Most likely. Highly likely. Will people be happy? No. I'll be happy. Kind of. But I would have wanted a movie too. With Keaton as mentor Batman running around and, as long as it's Terry, it'll be awesome. Because there's only a couple people that I thought of would make a great Batman Beyond, mentor Batman. Clint Eastwood, and Michael Keaton. So the fact that we got Keaton, which, come on, Clint Eastwood would have made an amazing older Batman. Would have really been cool. But Keaton he's Keaton. He was Batman. It also brings back full circle to what his universe was. And the fact they're going 92 right to 2022 is pretty interesting, that it's going to be that long since that. But other than that, other than the Flash movie, I don't really... It's not that I don't want to see him popping up as a DC film Batman, as Commander Batman, or whatever he's going to do with the multiverse and Nick Fury stuff and putting together a team or not a team or an elite team or multiverse team. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to turn him into Hannibal from the A-Team. Is he going to be Nick Fury? Is he just going to be this angry guy who sits behind a computer and yells at, a kid in a Batman costume? Nobody knows. The only thing that people have is speculation and just that it's happening. It's going to be a number of pictures. I believe the last thing that was mentioned a couple months ago was going to be 5 flicks and 5 appearances and 1 movie or something like that. He wasn't getting a trilogy, which makes me think that this Beyond movie or whatever his movie is will tie into his Batman Returns, and whatever name of that Batman is. And you are getting a trilogy in a sense, because he is getting 1 movie at least. And it's not The Flash. The Flash is his reintroduction into cinema as the character, and then he gets 1 movie according to the DC executive guy, because Pattinson gets a trilogy. The DCEU Batman gets a Batman movie, and then he gets other minimal roles for a while, which makes me think that he'll probably be replaced by either a Batwoman, a Terry McGinnis, a Nightwing, or a Batgirl. I'm leaning more toward a Batgirl than a Batwoman, because I think when they recast Batwoman, that kind of made it not possible for her to be in cinema right now, because that would cause an uproar, because people want the focus to be on the new Batwoman. So having her appear as a sidekick to, or a protege to Batman, would be detrimental to that very loud, obnoxious group of Batwoman fans on CW and Twitter now. The Yaz group, or whatever you want to say, they're a little weird. So my guess is it would be Batgirl. I'm about 65-70% sure that we're not going to get Terry. It's going to be Batgirl. And probably Nightwing. Batgirl and Nightwing leaning very close to that. more so than Terry. Terry, I feel like everybody wants, but everybody can't have everything they want. You can't have Keaton as the mentor, older Batman, and Terry McGinnis too. You'll get a Batman Beyond movie, but you'll get a Batman Beyond movie that DC executives have thought would work and you want to see. But in reality, you don't want to see it. You want Terry. But you're probably not going to get Terry. And that makes me sad. All right, how long have we been talking now? About an hour? Let's read some super chats, and then we'll get into some questions. And I'm running out of stuff to drink. So, yeah, I know. I talked quite a while for this one, didn't I? All right. Why not just replace Ben with Armie Hammer or keep Ben? Replacing Ben with Keaton makes no sense. And now, you as a Wing fan know how us Tim fans feel. All right. I see what you did there. Pokewood Theater says, do you think a Batwing movie would work? I think a Batwing movie would work, but I think MCU fans would basically call him Black Iron Man. And I don't know if it would work. Like, I think a Batwing film would be cool, but they need to find a way of introducing Luke first. If they were just to be like, yes, here's a Batwing movie with no, introduction, no anything, no hints. What they could do, I mean, if they wanted to be stunning and brave, you could make Luke Fox the Terry McGinnis character. Lucius Fox's son, who actually never showed up in Keaton's world, is now the Terry McGinnis character. And it would make sense because, I mean, in the comics, he has kind of like a Batman Beyond-esque suit. It's got a blue symbol and blue eyes and like blue accents to it. But it's still the black Batman Beyond suit. It's just instead of the red symbol and, some of the more prominent designs of Terry's suit, Luke's is kind of the reverse, except blue. So, I mean, you could do that, and I think more people would probably get behind that than, say, a Batgirl or a Nightwing thing. But you have to remember, too, that these companies, when they throw names out there like Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, they're banking on not only older people's nostalgia of these characters to put them in the movies, but also they know that these characters are popular. Luke has only been around... Awesome name, by the way. Luke has only been around, to my knowledge, since the New 52. Before that, it was Tim Fox, who's going to be the new Batman, which Tim hasn't really been around since the 1970s. And he was replaced by Luke because Tim was not really likable. Dick Grayson has a lot of fan bases from different age groups. People who grew up with the Adam West Show, people who grew up with the animated series, people who saw Batman Forever, the Teen Titans audience, the Titans audience on the DCU app / HBO Max. Barbara Gordon people saw in the animated series, the 60s show, comic books, video games. So, I mean, these characters are more well-known than people like Batwing and stuff like that. So they would get movies first. And if you wanted to be sneaky, you could put Luke in one of these movies that Batgirl or Nightwing appear in, because then audiences are like, boom, that's Luke Fox, that's Dick Grayson's friend, or that's Barbara's friend. And then after a movie or two, you can try to give them their own side movie, but build them up in those characters' films. That's how you'd be sneaky but cool. I don't know if Hollywood is as smart as me, though, but that's what I would do. I would ask, hey, these are characters I would like to use in my film universe, and if I use a lot of obscure ones that people don't really know, chances are I could actually get the rights to those characters, and then I can build up those characters for the future and make more money later. But yeah, I have a feeling definitely going to be the Nightwing Batgirl thing. But eventually, I think the idea starts out with Nightwing and Batgirl, honestly, and I'm not psychic or anything. It's just kind of how our culture is. I have a feeling that Nightwing is going to get dropped from the script completely because he's dead. If somehow Keaton ends up becoming older Affleck by a miracle, I don't know. Barbara Gordon would be the only protege for Keaton, and there'd be no Nightwing because Dick Grayson is still dead. Or they just completely yeet Dick Grayson from the script because they don't want a female lead to be a shared lead because they already have Keaton in the movie. So that could be another possibility. Also, they might not even call her Batgirl. She could end up being called Batwoman or something else. Batperson. I don't know. Whatever's PC. Oh, my gosh. And again, I don't have any evidence of this. It's just hearsay. Just rumors about what could happen with the Batman Beyond project. Or whatever. If it's even going to be called Batman Beyond. It could be Batgirl Beyond. I don't know. You never know. That's what makes these things fun, you know? And stressful. Batwing x Batgirl, no. Arkham Gamer, do you at least like him as Batman? I'm Arkham Gamer. Oh, that's sweet. I haven't really done a lot with Arkham. Well, I mean, there's Arkham here. Yeah, I like Batman, but I'm more of a Nightwing fan. She'll just be called Bat. I like that. K-Wing, do you think Robert will kill in the Batman film? No. I don't think he's going to kill. I think he's going to be Brutal Bat. Like, I used to call Ben Affleck the Brutal Bat, but Ben Affleck was Manslaughter Batman. I think Brutal Bat will be Pattinson. Luke should have been the future state Batman. Yes! I agree 100%. But, if you read some of the new Batman, next Batman writers stuff, he doesn't like Luke Fox. He doesn't, he says that Luke Fox doesn't know the struggle. Luke Fox is not relatable to, I can't say that word, people of color. So he didn't want to use Luke or someone that had ties to Batman. He wanted to use someone who's from the streets as Batman. So if you're a Luke Fox fan, then the Batman writer, the new guy, doesn't like you because Luke is not really... this is why I don't like Social Warriors. Luke is not PC enough because he's friends with white people to be, you know, to write about, basically. It's stupid, it's very racy, but that's why Tim was kind of chosen, is because he's more streets, basically. There's no real nice word of saying that. But that's why I don't like social storytellers, you know. But like I said, I don't want to get into it because this is about Keaton, and I really, really don't want to talk about Future State. I just, when I make Future State videos, there's going to be a whole group of people after me. Call me the R word. Because of, I don't like Tim. I don't think Tim is a good character. I really believe that in terms of a narrative point of view that Luke should have been Batman, and I just, it doesn't seem right. It seems like it's very it's very like what's the word am I looking for? It's very shock oriented, and it's supposed to appeal to a certain group that don't buy comic books on Twitter, to try to get them to be like, this is our Batman because he's a different color. But it's like, but you already had Batwing. What's wrong with Batwing? Never mind. Duke would have been a better choice too. Yes. Yep. Batwing would have been better. I know. Hey, K-Wing, what happened to your Gotham Knights series? You made one video and then deleted it, and you said you'll make more videos. Okay, we lost our sponsor. Some stuff happened, and I had a way of releasing these videos, and my sponsor pulled. I had some people other than Raid that were lined up to do some stuff. There were some nasty things said about me on the internet a couple months ago, and Apparently I ended up on some type of list, and I lost some sponsors. So those videos are kind of finished, but I need to find a way of protecting myself by releasing them, because I don't really want to go and edit them again because I like how they were edited. But, you know, if it ends up being released and it gets like 30 or 40,000 views or whatever, I'm not going to make a dime on it because of the way the video was edited. So to me, it's depressing. It's like I have these videos ready to go. I want to release them, but if I don't make any money on them, then I suck as a person, and also it impacts my channel. And with all the copyright DMCA stuff going out now, I have a lot of copyrighted material in that video. I got clips of the animated series. I've got other animated stuff. I have some Killing Joke Batgirl stuff in there. I'm probably, honestly, I'm just going to end up, I don't want to, but I'm probably just going to re-edit the video and just take out all the cool stuff. Because when you have a sponsor, like an actual, like, you click a thing that says this is a sponsored video, for some reason, when you actually have somebody backing you, like a corporation or a company or whatever, you don't really get hit by bad DMCA copyright, because there's an agency that they'll go after before you, and, you know, something like that. So, I mean, those are safer to do, and that's why you see a lot of YouTubers with a lot of really cool editing and other stuff, and there's a sponsor in their video when they're using copyrighted stuff like movie clips and musics and memes and all that other stuff. They've got basically a shield that works. I don't have a shield right now, and it's very hard for me to get companies to work with me because terrible things were said about me that's not true, and still considering doing a defamation lawsuit because I was impacted financially from that. Whether or not I'm going to go through that, I don't know. That's up to my lawyer. But yeah, I'm very hurt about that stuff. You know, somebody who grew up in a very diverse area of New York, you know, never saw color growing up because I had so many different friends that I just saw as people. I don't really fit in the world, you know? So, I mean, that hurt. So, yeah, I may end up suing those jokers. I don't know. We'll see. It all depends. I mean, do I really want to go to court? You have to remember, I don't like leaving my house. And usually when you do legal things, you have to leave your house. And even before the pandemic, I'm technically disabled. I was in a horrible car accident. I got traumatic brain injury. I freak out when I leave my house because of a panic disorder. I don't like leaving my safe place. Going to conventions is very hard for me. Going to a court thing and suing a bunch of people and spending money on that and, you know, being under oath and all this other, it freaks me out. So I don't know if I'm going to go through it or not. I would like to. If I was healthier, heck yeah, I'd do it. Be like, lawyer, get him. But because I could prove that I was actually impacted financially because I lost sponsors. I may continue to lose sponsors. I don't know. But yeah, that's why that video wasn't released. I have to go through. The audio is good. But I mean, that's also why I asked people for help with editing, because I thought the video was great. It's cool. It's fun to watch. It's entertaining. I think it would do decent numbers, just like the first episode. But if I post that, that's a DMCA nightmare. I've got no shield. So, this is just me being real. So, I'm just, you know, one of these nights I'm just going to go through. I'm going to strip the audio, record all new gameplay, because I don't want to use the gameplay I used because I was banking on the clips that I had. I can still use my comic book stuff, like the comic book images and stuff like that, but I don't like making bare bones videos. I have the potential of making awesome videos just like every other YouTuber. I just don't have the same protection as other YouTubers. You know? Yeah, you're just like Cyclops from the X-Men. Yeah, totally. When is the next Gotham? Okay, I already talked about that. I'm planning on redoing it and getting it up when I can. Have you seen Wonder Woman 84? Do I have to talk about it? Yes, I saw it. I didn't hate it totally. And I don't like using trigger words, but I'm just going to real quick. For normal people, they would say that the movie is very woke. But for SJWs, they would say the movie's not woke enough. The movie's okay. It's just... It's hard to see what audience that they're trying to speak to. It doesn't feel like the first Wonder Woman movie, which is just everybody liked it. It feels kind of polarizing, I think is the nicest way I can say it. It's got some cool action sequences. I didn't like Cheetah all that much. It's not horrible, but it feels like it was trying to appease or not appease or tick off or not tick off. It doesn't choose a side, and it just feels weird. Normal people don't like it because they think that it's, you know, the W word. And crazies on Twitter don't like that it wasn't enough Orange Man bad and other things. So, I mean, it didn't really hit with any audience that I can think of. Yet, critics keep saying it's like one of the best movies in a long time, but then again, they say that every superhero movie that, you know, hits certain check marks. I haven't watched it with Amber yet. I want to see what she thinks of it, but, you know, as a film, video game critic type person, watching the movie, I was definitely taking it apart my first viewing, and I was just kind of like, I think the best way to describe the Wonder Woman movie for me, you know that GIF of that guy that looks like Harry Ells, where he's just kind of like eyes wide and shakes his head a little bit, kind of like what just happened? That's kind of my GIF reaction to the movie. You know, I'm just kind of like surprised, like not really excitement, like, wow, I'm excited for Wonder Woman 3. I'm just kind of like, okay, I saw that. I'm ready for the Snyder cut. You know? Shazam was way better. I can honestly say that I enjoyed Shazam way more than Wonder Woman 84, but I enjoyed Wonder Woman more than Shazam. I thought Wonder Woman was amazing. 84 is okay. We'll put it at that. Were you okay with Batman killing in BVS? No. Did I like Michael Keaton as the Vulture? I mean, I don't agree. Well, okay, you didn't say Batman was murdering people. Yes, people were dying in BVS. I saw it as manslaughter. It's pretty clear that it's manslaughter. People do die when that Batman fights people. But also that is a Batman that has to operate in a universe that has superpowered godlike beings. So he has to be like the pinnacle version of Batman in terms of strength, and little bandit guys with guns don't really stand a chance against that Batman and just kind of die by default, slamming into walls and the like. Being punched by that Batman is kind of the equivalent to Batman in the comics in year one knocking over a tree. And I hate to tell you this, the Frank Miller Batman from the comics, if that Batman kicked somebody with that amount of force that he broke the tree, he would kill someone. So Affleck Batman, that is supposed to be Frank Miller Batman, in combat, when he's fighting off a group of enemies and not pulling his punches and stabbing people and doing all this other stuff, he is probably killing a lot of people. That you know, it's not just knocking them out. It's not just the warehouse guy who got his head smashed by a crate that probably died. Some of those hits and elbows and strikes and things like that, where Batman's hitting people in the face and the neck and the kidneys and things like that, those aren't people that are going to live very long. You know? But that Batman has to operate in a world with people like Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and he has to be able to fight parademons. Do I like him killing people? No, I don't believe Batman should kill people. I'm okay with Batman brutalizing people, but I don't think he should kill people at all. I like what they did with him in the Silver Age and '90s and the 2000s books and stuff like that. And the animated series. But I mean, I can understand the argument why he does, and some of it he's just not paying attention because he's just so freaking strong, ludicrously strong. But did you like Michael Keaton as Vulture? Yes. What are your thoughts about Batman Death in the Family interactive movie? I liked it. I bought it. I watched it. I thought it was pretty good. My complaints with the movie is the narration stuff with Jason was okay. I would have liked them to bring back the original Red Hood voice actor for that. I would have liked them to bring in the voice actor for Nightwing. I wish Neil Patrick Harris would have come back so we could have heard more of Nightwing, especially some of the flashbacks or things or future flashbacks or where he becomes Batman. I thought Bruce Greenwood was amazing as Batman in that movie. That was probably his best performance in that. I like all the different multiverse takes. It's a very graphic movie. It definitely gets that R rating. I kind of like it better than Under the Red Hood a little bit. Under the Red Hood is a masterpiece, but I like the aspect that there are other possibilities now that lead to other multiverse things where, Tim Drake is involved and where you have Damian involved in that universe and just all that stuff. I thought it was very well done. I would like to see more of it, but I don't know how they would do it. Any other, why is Batman's suit not bulletproof? It is bulletproof. DCEU Batman's totally bulletproof. Why Pattinson is not the Batman? I thought he was supposed to be the real replacement. No. Pattinson said in his contract, and Matt Reeves, that they do not want to be part of the DC film universe. They don't want to be part of the cinematic universe. So Pattinson's Batman was never going to interact with Wonder Woman, Superman, Flash, any of those guys. It was in his contract. He said, no. If I'm doing this, then these are my provisions. Nope. So then the search was either on for a new Batman or no Batman at all. And for a long time, DC Films was going to have no Batman in the DCEU after Affleck. That was it. No Batman in Justice League. You would have Wonder Woman become the new leader. And it would just be Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg's gone now. And whatever heroes they decided on. Yeah, you can say bye-bye Ray Fisher. Very doubtful that DC is going to work with him. He's probably going to end up going to Marvel or somewhere else. Maybe Star Wars, who knows. But he's done at DC. DC's nope. He attacked Walter Yamada, the DC executive guy, like the higher up. And people tried to cancel a Japanese guy or an Asian American and label him as a white guy, and it just cancel culture tried to go after that DC guy. So it's just I don't see Fisher continuing as Cyborg. I think they're just going to replace him with someone else. Personally, it's a shame, but I mean, I've never ever seen an actor act like Ray when it was their first movie. I feel bad for Ray, and I think that maybe this could be an eye-opening experience for him, but I would recommend probably stay in theater because Hollywood films, a lot of them, directors, total tools, massive jerks, very, what's the word I'm looking for? They are very strict and rough and no fun to work with most of the time. I've said this before, but Zack Snyder is a nice guy and he's really good with his people. He treats his staff and his crew like family or friends. Everybody has a good time. Most people in Hollywood can't say that to a lot of directors. There are a lot of directors that are very brown shirt in terms of operation and things like that. And Whedon is not one of the nice directors. So, yeah, probably a lot of the stuff that happened to Ray Fisher is true, but it happens quite a bit in Hollywood. And, Ray also was essentially a one-hit wonder. He was a one-movie guy that had the potential of getting his own Cyborg movie and all this other stuff, and he blew it. And if I were DC, based on all the controversy and all the stuff that's happened, I would probably just replace him at this point, because he's not a team player. He doesn't want to be a team player. He just keeps going after people. And, it is what it is. I can understand if it's like Harrison Ford or somebody that's been an actor for like 10, 15 years, 5 years, that has like actual credibility to their name and like a lot of... what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of star power, I guess, would be the appropriate thing. Like, instead of just being like a new actor that's brought in from a completely different world. Fantastic stage actor. Don't know if that translated really well into film. I'm excited to see what he did in the Snyder Cut, but the fact that he's not going to promote the Snyder Cut, he's bad-mouthing everything about DC films. I don't see him coming back for The Flash. He originally was going to, but he said no. So either they're going to write Cyborg out of the Flash movie, which is going to suck, or they're going to get somebody else to do it, which is going to feel weird. But as long as the actor they bring in to play Cyborg does a good job, and, Ray's Cyborg felt... how do I put this? At least from seeing Whedon's version, it felt very robotic, kind of lifeless, which is very different than Ray's performance when he was in theater, where he actually was very good at acting. His theater credits or experience did not translate well the first time we saw him in Justice League. And the way that people are talking about Snyder Cut, it doesn't sound like Cyborg is a very... what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the same problems that people had with Justice League, not to be mean, with the Cyborg character, even in Snyder Cut's version, is going to be more of the same, that kind of problem. So if you didn't like Cyborg in Justice League, chances are you're not going to like his performance in Snyder Cut, with exception to before he becomes Cyborg. His football stuff and his life and talking to his dad, some of those little tidbits we get to see about his life before the accident, it's going to make you relate and like Cyborg more than when he is a cyborg, basically. Does that make sense? Kind of. And with all the attention that Ray has brought to the role, it might make a bigger boom in the opposite way that he's thinking for his performance, based on all the stuff that he's been doing to whistleblow. If it's a really good performance, then it'll be very good for his career, because a lot more people will be like, yeah, we're standing with this guy that's a fantastic actor, blah, 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 blah. But it could swing the other way. And from what I've heard, people that are doing stuff with the Snyder Cut, the Cyborg performance is still very Justice League, Whedon-like. But what's going to even that out is when you see the flesh and blood Victor Stone, and you feel for his transformation in the Snyder Cut, because you're going to see him as this really cool football player, this kid who has his whole life before him, and then it's yanked away from him, and it's just going to reach inside your chest and crush your organs. You're just going to feel bad for what happens. And then what happens to his dad later in the thing, Cyborg is going to be one of those characters that you're either going to love or you're going to hate him. But you're going to feel for him no matter what. We didn't get that with Whedon's cut. Whedon cut a lot of Cyborg stuff, which is part of the reason why Cyborg's performance felt very robotic, is because we didn't really have enough time with the character. You're going to get time with Flash. You're going to get time with Victor. I don't know if you're getting a lot of time with Aquaman. I think William Dafoe's role has been restored. Martian Manhunter is in it. The Green Lantern thing might have been restored. Not sure. Nobody's really talking about Green Lantern. It's probably going to be a surprise. I know Grace said that Ryan Reynolds could probably be Green Lantern. It's possible, but I think it's going to be somebody else. Like, somebody who comic fans are going to be really excited to see, because that person's played Green Lantern before, and people won't expect seeing that actor show up and actually become live-action Green Lantern. I think people would be pretty happy with it, and I think the dude who played Green Lantern would be stoked, but that's just a thing that's been floating around for years. Who Snyder wanted to be Green Lantern at one point. So the fact that he even name-dropped that guy, that makes me think, oh, that could be the possibility he could show up as Green Lantern. The only reason you don't hear a lot about GL is because the GL thing's going to be a surprise. It would be cool if it's Ryan Reynolds, but I would like it to be Nathan Fillion, personally. I think it'd be more epic. Sinestro. Do you think that Snyder is a crappy filmmaker who values style over substance and couldn't write a compelling story to get out of a paper bag? For me, he ruined Justice League for me. No, I don't see him as a crappy director. I think he makes bad decisions. What he's good at is creating his own continuity. If Snyder was allowed to play in the sandbox the way that he wanted to with these characters, he would do a very good job. You're going to see the Snyder Cut thing, and you are not going to remember seeing Justice League in theaters. It is not the same movie. It's totally different. I've spoiled a lot of it, so if you've listened to these podcasts, I'm sorry. But I've pretty much charted out the entire thing. And that more or less is what you're going to see over the course of the 4 or 5 episodes. It's going to feel a little rushed, but that more or less is what is going to happen. You're going to see a lot of Justice League and Justice League Part 2 ideas in the Snyder Cut, or miniseries, or whatever they're calling it. Justice League Director's Cut. I don't know what the miniseries is called. I think they're just going with Justice League Director's Cut. Zack Snyder, Justice League Director's Cut, whatever. His choices to kill certain characters really annoy me. It shouldn't, but as somebody who really based a whole YouTube channel after the name of one, although changed it a little bit for legal reasons, the Dick Grayson thing is very upsetting as a lifelong Dick Grayson fan, and also it furthers a stereotype that Robin is a lame character, and very few filmmakers understand how to incorporate Robin or Nightwing or any of these characters. So I think in that aspect he's bad at what he does. But if he's actually allowed to do what his actual vision is, it's a lot better than what DC Films has been doing, because he has a starting point, a middle point, and an end point. And it's hard to say that his work is crappy when it all has, it's all connected. BVS is Man of Steel is connected to BVS. BVS is connected to Snyder Cut miniseries. The reason why the story beats from BVS to Justice League don't work is because basically Whedon threw out more than... Originally, we reported on it only being half of the movie, but according to Zach, who finally watched Justice League under protest, said that Whedon only used probably about 15% of his movie. And that's why he made that tweet last month, before going on hiatus or whatever, that he is going to obliterate Whedon's movie in people's mind because he's furious. So, I mean, I honestly think that people who didn't like the Snyder Justice League, you haven't seen it yet. You saw Whedon's version. I want to take Snyder by his, his attack tweet or whatever his post is on Vimeo. I don't remember where it was. He's got weird social media things. I want to take it for his word, but I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe it's not going to be as good as I think it is. I think it's going to be really good, but I don't... If it would have come out last year, I think it would probably have been the coolest thing in 2020. But, the fact that it's coming out in 2021 and theaters are going to be opening up again, I think it's going to get kind of lost in the shuffle of what this year is. I think MCU is going to dominate again. They waited too long. They should have released the thing in December, honestly. I think that was a huge missed opportunity because the film is more or less ready, but they didn't want to step on the toes of Wonder Woman. Spring is a bad idea because that's the reason why he's doing spring, though, is that's kind of when BVS released. They really should have released it in December, and Wonder Woman should have been delayed. Wonder Woman should have been delayed until 2021, and Snyder Cut should have come out in December. That's my feeling on it. Any questions about Keaton-related stuff? Give up and surrender to Zach. No. I think they should have just... Outsider Game says they should have just recast Affleck with someone his age. I love Keaton to death, but I don't know if he'd fit in the DCU. Thoughts? I don't know if this was asked before. I mean, I kind of touched upon this subject like off and on throughout the podcast tonight. I don't know how it's going to work. I like Keaton too. I think it's going to be a mentor role. Honestly, it's going to be a vehicle for Batman Beyond with either Batgirl Beyond or Terry McGinnis. So, I mean, there's only one person. Clint Eastwood is way too old now. No offense to Clint Eastwood. He's still awesome. But everybody wants Keaton to be that Batman that ushers in Batman Beyond. Because for a lot of people, he was their movie Batman. And he didn't get a trilogy. The only Batman actor to get a trilogy so far is Bale. So Keaton is actually going to get his trilogy. He is going to get his Batman movie that he stars in that will, have the next generation in his movie. And it'll be a, continuation of his thing. Go Batman, Batman Returns, and then whatever the next Batman movie with Keaton is in it. He's not just in The Flash. So... You hope Batgirl Beyond still isn't a thing? Well, it's still 50-50, my friends. We need that Arkham Batman in the DCU. I know, but you're not going to get it, so. What's happening with the animated movie slate and timeline? Oh, gosh. Elseworlds Batman movies for the time being. So, Batman Soul of the Dragon comes out this month. I'm excited for that movie. But in terms of Batman movies, you're getting mostly standalone Elseworlds Batman movies. There's no connected continuity yet for DC Animated. DC Animated is all separate. The Superman movie is not a relaunch for Superman Rebirth or anything. It's a standalone movie that may or may not get a sequel if it does well. And the Batman Soul of the Dragon thing is a one-off. And the Batman movie after that I think is The Long Halloween. Pretty sure it's still Long Halloween. Yeah, it is The Long Halloween. Comes out this year. It is not connected to anything. It's a standoff. Solo universe. Just more... Because remember, DC, the multiverse is their thing. So, I mean, the Long Halloween Batman movie, which I believe... don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Kevin Conroy is voicing Batman in the Long Halloween animated movie with Bruce Timm. And that's why Kevin is in the sound booth right now. Because the movie comes out this fall, and it's a two-parter. So Long Halloween Part 1 would be like October 2021, and then sometime in spring would be probably Long Halloween Part 2. So yeah, that's most likely the reason why Kevin is in the sound booth, not just for the Rocksteady game. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the Long Halloween movie, because Bruce Timm has already said his favorite Batman actor to work with is Kevin Conroy. Yeah. Something like that. First part of Long Halloween will release in summer, and part 2 is the fall. Yep, that's right, Evan. Do you think the Court of Owls should be the reason why Bruce's parents are dead in Matt Reeves' Batman? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it would be something different, but... Do you think they'll use CGI on Michael Keaton like they did for... that's... You mean deep fake? Yeah, let's not talk about that, because I don't know if people have seen The Mandalorian all that much, but, I mean, as long as the deep fake stuff looks good, I mean, I don't care. I hope they don't screw up the art style of Long Halloween like they've been doing. Nope, it stays true to the art style of the comics. They haven't released a trailer, but I know some people at DC Animated, so it's going to be cool. Why can't DC, WB make anything good in terms of their films? Because they do love their misery, despair, and murder. Batfleck killing, Superman killing people. Yeah. Wait, when did Superman kill people in BVS? He was being good. How would you feel if Adam West was Batman Beyond if he was still around? No, I never thought Adam West could be older Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. It wouldn't work. Adam is Adam. Adam is camp. Adam loves camp. Adam bled camp. Adam died camp. And he was the king of camp. Adam couldn't play straight roles. It didn't feel right. It wouldn't have worked. In fact, I'm going to say this. This might sound controversial, but when don't I say controversial things? When Adam West was the first TV Batman to have Bruce Wayne's origin story with the death of the Waynes on television in the 1980s for the very first time in the Superpowers team Galactic Guardians episode The Fear, looking back, I originally thought that his performance was awesome. That it was very daring and bold for a Saturday morning cartoon show to do the death of the Wayne family in such a compelling way on television, which was unheard of in the 80s or any time. Of course, the animated series did it so much better in a way that both worked for censorship on television, but also worked for if you were watching the show as an adult. The Fear episode with Adam West, after watching it again recently, because I was going to bring back my Cartoon All-Star show before the whole DMCA law now, rewatching it, his performance felt very Adam West. It didn't feel like I was watching the Galactic Guardians Batman with the origin of his family. It felt like I was watching a more serious version of the 1960s Batman. And throughout the episode, and this is supposed to be a serious episode, mind you, Galactic Guardians was supposed to be like more of a teenage version of the Super Friends. They were trying to age the show to keep it from cancellation. And they went with a new art style that wasn't super campy. It was very current DC Comics. It was a whole revamp, and it failed because people just thought it was Super Friends, which is sad, but there were some episodes that were really hokey. But his delivery and his performance in that episode made me understand that Adam, as Batman, can't do serious Batman. I thought he could, he can't. The idea, if he was still around doing a live action revisit to his character in film, he would be Adam West as Bruce Wayne again. So it would be a lot more lighthearted, very bright Knight stuff. Adam, you have to understand, did not like The Dark Knight. He did not like Keaton's Batman specifically. He campaigned against Keaton's movie in the 80s. I mean, that's just, if Twitter existed in the 80s, Adam West would have led cancel culture against Mr. Mom, because he did television interviews bad-mouthing Tim Burton's vision. He didn't like it. It's not just he was stamping his feet like, oh, I can't be in the movie Batman when I'm Batman. He didn't like the aspect of Batman being dark and Dracula-like. It wasn't Batman to him. So, I mean, for the rest of his career, he lived camp. That's who he was. It's fine. But it doesn't work for the way Batman is now. You need someone that can walk that tightrope of, serious and a little jokey once in a while. And that's Keaton. Keaton is the perfect guy to play older Bruce Wayne, because if you remember the Batman Beyond comics and the Batman Beyond cartoon show, Batman is very... he's more jokey and savage in his treatment of Terry than he was as Batman. And honestly, Keaton is the perfect guy in that age to play that kind of Batman. And, the banter between him and Terry on screen would be gold. Adam would be too much, whereas Keaton would be just enough for it to be funny, but also kind of Bernie if the joke is supposed to be something to make fun of Terry. It would work based on the delivery and how Keaton is as a performer. If they go that route, I don't know what they're going to do. Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Bale said no. Bale doesn't want anything to do with Batman. He's done. Bale's MCU now. Bale's gonna kill Thor. Bale's gonna love killing Thor. K-Wing, do you think that WB should stop trying to make the DCU thing, or is it still salvageable? That's a very good question. That would be a podcast on its own, my friend. That would be a podcast on its own. I can't do a simple answer for that one. That's a very good question, though. Part of it, I think, is salvageable, yeah. But they need a flashpoint. You can't do it without a flashpoint. And a Flash, multiverse movie running into... Oh, my gosh. Have you heard all the characters Flash is going to run into? Oh, my gosh. It feels like a jokey superhero version of Back to the Future. I kid you not. Linda Carter's involved. Possibly Gal Gadot is involved. Aquaman. The guy who played Flash in the 90s. Nicolas Cage is rumored to be attached to it. Brandon Routh is rumored to be attached to the Flash movie. Michael Keaton has a starring role in it, like a very big role. Affleck might just have a cameo and a smaller role. And they're just going to bring in all these DC actors or people that could have been DC actors. Even Armie Hammer is like supposedly gonna show up in the movie as a Batman or some type of character. It's going full-blown crazy to the point where I don't know. I was excited about the Flash movie, and then they just keep making it dumb. It feels like... It just feels like a glorified cameo of older actors. Like, it just, crazy Ezra Miller running around in these different DC universes, meeting all these different versions of people that were supposed to play superheroes or played superheroes. And some of them you want to see again, but I don't want to see Nicolas Cage as a Superman. Brandon Routh as Superman again? Heck yeah. That's something people want to see. But Linda Carter? I mean, she's like so old. Michelle Pfeiffer again? And I don't know. Keaton makes sense as a mentor, as a lead-in point to a Batman Beyond movie, but the more I keep hearing about the Flash movie, I kind of don't want it to be made in the way that it is right now. I just want them to do Flashpoint. It just sounds really weird. Yeah, it's basically like Batmite is controlling the DC cinematic universe. You know? I think Nick Cage is cool, but I don't want to see him as Superman. I'm hearing that Keaton will not be replacing Affleck, but will appear in more than just Flash. Do you think that it'll be another Matt Reeves scenario, that it's a different Earth? There's a lot of different reports with the Keaton thing, though. You have two different things. One camp says that Keaton is replacing Affleck, and then you have the other camp that says, no, Affleck is going to be on HBO Max, which means he's not being replaced, and he's just going to fulfill his cameo roles, and Keaton is going to do something else, like the Batman Beyond thing. There's always some truth to rumors, and one of the key truths that's ringing with both of these sides, these conflicting sides, is Batman Beyond. Some type of Batman Beyond. One side says Batgirl, with Keaton being the protege guy, or the mentor to the protege, and the other side says Terry McGinnis. So both people, or both executives, or both sides of the equation, or whatever, of these rumors, they want a Batman Beyond thing with Keaton at the lead. How they're going to go about that, we don't know. How Keaton is going to show up in other movies, if that's true, we don't know. Or if Affleck is going to show up. I honestly don't see Affleck doing the cameo thing anymore. If he is around, it will be on HBO Max only, and it will just be to finish his Arkham story, and that's it. I don't see a lot with Snyder's universe, after if they get a Snyder Cut Part 2. And that's all dependent on you guys. If nobody watches it and nobody buys HBO Max, forget it. Forget Affleck, forget everything. You'll get your Flash movie and then whatever DC wants to do, because it was a fluke. The fans were wrong. Fans weren't wrong. They didn't support it. But also, if fans support a crappy movie, that's just going to make us all look bad. So, I mean, this is a catch-22, guys. I personally, I don't know if I would rest my reputation on saying that Snyder Cut's going to be good. I think it's going to be better than Justice League. And I think you'll forget you ever saw Justice League because it's going to be better in comparison. But the fact that the movie doesn't, the miniseries doesn't really have an ending, with the possibility of having more added to it and never getting that, if that's true, that makes me mad, because going in and knowing that, I can't ever really enjoy the movie that much, because I'm going to want more of it that I'm probably not going to get, because you have DC executives that don't want this universe to continue. They want it to be done after spring of 2021. They don't want it. Will they bring Tim Burton back to work with Keaton again? No. The director that is The Flash is working with Keaton. I don't know his name, but he is a super Keaton fan. Ezra Miller, psyched to work with Keaton. Everybody's like, Keaton is like the golden boy right now. Like, the hype that Keaton has is what Affleck had when he was announced. But also even more so because people want Keaton to come back because they want him to have a trilogy. He was supposed to have a trilogy with Batman Forever, but he walked. Now he gets the opportunity to do his trilogy. And he is signed on for the Flash thing, so it's not speculation anymore. He is legit in the Flash movie. The DC executives have already confirmed that. And, you know, but all this other stuff right now about him replacing Ben Affleck, it's hard for me to say that that is 100%. The Flash is 100%. We'll know more in March. Like, if this thing blows up as big as The Mandalorian did, Affleck is in. Like, Affleck's not going anywhere. If the thing starts out strong and then dies, like, people's interest in it becomes like watching Batwoman on the CW, then Affleck is done after Flash. You'll never get Arkham movie or Arkham miniseries or anything. You won't get the Deathstroke thing. All that'll be yeeted. Gone. Toss. And people will put their hopes into Keaton. Keaton is kind of like a new hope anyway right now. Because everybody on Twitter is saying good things about Keaton, but also saying things about his age. A lot of those people don't know about Batman Beyond, so I think they're going to be surprised, and honestly, I think that's what Warner Brothers is banking on, is these noobs and these casuals that don't know anything other than, you know, they saw Batman 89, 92, maybe Batman Forever, are going to be in for a big surprise when Batman Beyond swoops in and has that same impact that Miles Morales had in Spider-Verse. Except even more so because it'll be live action. If done right, it could steal the thunder from Spider-Man 3. Keaton is our Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that's basically the momentum behind that. That's a brilliant way of saying that. Joker 2, you think it will happen? Phoenix wants to do it. Keaton should retire. Nope. Do you think an Arkham Origins remaster could still happen? No. Gotham Knights, a new 52 game, or a Rebirth comic game? Gotham Knights is a new 52 game. Sorry. Noobs. I know, I used a gaming term to describe movie people. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. I know Gotham Knights is about the Bat family, but do you think they could have Batman being an unlockable character? Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I have conflicting reports from that. Nightwing, anything about the new Suicide Squad movie? It's rated R. That's all I know. Will they make a Man of Steel 2? Henry Cavill wants to. But, I mean, yeah. You guys have heard what's going on with Henry Cavill, though, right? Henry Cavill wants to stay as Superman, loves the character, is actually probably a very good Superman, but also his career is hanging on to what happens with Syndercut. If Syndercut is successful, not only will Ben Affleck still be around in some capacity as Batman, Bruce Wayne, but Superman will stay, and Superman will be what everybody wants. If Syndercut does bad, even though Henry Cavill loves the character, he would be ashamed to continue being Superman, because this is kind of like his last hurrah too. Even though he says all the time, my cape is in the closet, it's still mine. Warner Brothers isn't going to do anything with Superman until they actually see that Superman can succeed. That's the honest to God truth. Henry Cavill wants it so bad, and I really want him to continue as Superman. I think he'd be great. The Rock is kind of his last hope too, because The Rock wants him in Black Adam, or one of the movies, the Shazam movie, I think. So, I mean, if that stuff still stays, then Cavill's got a shot. But if the Snyder Cut is a worse portrayal of Superman than the meme that we had with Mustache Man, I mean, what would you do if you put yourself in Superman's shoes? Would you stay? Would you want to stay if Snyder Cut is a stink bomb? Would you want to try to continue to play the character that, like, 50% of the comic book population hated and couldn't get behind and, you know, will never see... They're talking about Brandon Routh as a better Superman than you? Would you honestly want to keep doing it? I wouldn't. I'd be like, I'm going to become James Bond. Right? I think Brandon Routh could have been a very good Superman, you know, provided that he was able to continue doing it. I think he would do better on HBO Max, personally, with his own Superman series, but that's just me. I have no say in that. If Snyder Cut is successful, then they will try to give the audience what they want. Exactly. Yeah, that's all this is, guys. See, everything that's happening right now could change. Keaton, right now, is rumored to be the new DCEU Batman. But if Snyder Cut, and this is to the haters, this is to the naysayers, and this is to the critics, if Snyder Cut makes people eat their words, Affleck is not going anywhere. Cavill is Superman, and the Justice League will actually be cool, the way it was supposed to be. But if it bombs, you have Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 3. You have Aquaman 2, supposedly. And the Flash movie would still happen anyway. Because they're not canceling the Flash movie again. And they want to, no matter what happens, they want to give Ben a graceful exit that he deserves. Because then he would be embarrassed twice. Once by Whedon, and a last time by the director who he adores, Zack Snyder. So he would need the Flash as kind of like his final performance as a character so that he could put his demons to rest, and the fans could see Batman be cool one last time. But I have a gut feeling that Snyder Cut is going to be very different than what the haters are anticipating. Because they saw Whedon's version, they still haven't seen Zack's. There's character development, there are character arcs, there are character deaths, there are new characters, there are more villains. There's 3 villains right now. Could be more. There are cameos from other DCU films. There are cameos of other superheroes, such as Green Lantern. And there's a lot of interesting stuff involved that we did not see in the original Justice League. When I used to do those hype videos, telling you all the awesome stuff that I heard was going to be in the movie, that Whedon yanked, all that stuff, if you go back and watch all those years of videos, and you could even see, I started out as a super excited Justice League fan. And over the years, I became bitter and grumpier and older. This movie aged me a lot and made me more cynical and grumpier. And if it bombs, I'm done. I don't care. I'm not investing any more energy into it. I am yeeting myself from... Not Batman. Batman has so many different vehicles that I'll be around, but just in terms of Batman films, I won't give a rat's... Well, you know. I'll be done. This is my last time. This is my last time. I am not a hype channel. I am excited about this, but I have my concerns. And, yeah. But, you know, the Keaton news is fun. I'm still older and grumpy. Favorite live-action Batsuit, including Pattinson, Keaton. K-Wing, what do you think we'll see the detective side of Batman and Matt Reeves? I don't know. I need to see more, but, yeah. Should they just give up on the Arrowverse? Yup. It's time to say bye-bye to Arrowverse. It's becoming a joke. No Nightwing movie at the moment. If Nightwing shows up, he's going to be in Keaton's movie. Batmite live-action movie. No. Or am I going to watch WandaVision? My subscription to Disney Plus is ending. And I'm going to renew it when the Boba Fett thing comes out. I'm not going to have Disney Plus after... I think it's running out soon. I got it from Fortnite a while ago. I had a 2-month thing. And the only reason I really got it was for The Mandalorian. I don't really care. I'm not really invested in the MCU anymore. MCU ended for me with Endgame. It was a satisfying ending. I'm curious about the Winter Soldier thing and a little bit about the Wanda show, but not enough for me to be like super hardcore invested into it. I have to be careful where I spend my money because like YouTube algorithm is going to be bad. 2021 is going to be bad on YouTube. I have a gut feeling. That's why I'm pushing membership so hard on my Let's Play channels, because I see the writing on the wall. I know some crazy things YouTube's doing behind the scenes, and I'm just preparing the trench or making like a bomb shelter, trying my best to survive. Because those DMCA laws and some new TOS stuff that YouTube's rolling out is going to be really bad for creators. So I'm just doing my best to... I've been at this for 12 or 13 years, guys, and I've seen a lot of stuff. And it's just 21 is not going to be what people think it is for YouTube. So that's why I'm pushing memberships as hard as I am, because I'm trying to prevent a complete fallout when ad revenue just goes... Because I'm one of those idiotic YouTubers that only has ad revenue. I don't really have a lot of merch. I don't have a big Patreon presence. I was pretty stupid. But I also didn't want to charge people for things. I was like, oh, I'm stupid and naive. I'm just going to live off ad revenue. Wow. And then ad revenue goes... So. Oh, yes, I am. All my YouTube friends built up their Patreon years ago. Like 2010, 2012. I started in 2017. Yeah, and I used to make fun of them for e-begging, which dissolved friendships. I was kind of a jerk. I still kind of am, but that's just how I am. Any other Keaton-related questions? Because I'm getting kind of savage and grumpy. Just thinking about things. I know you guys love grumpy me, but I feel like I say stupid stuff when I get mad. Or annoyed. Maybe that's the best time to listen to stuff, but I don't know. Do you think the Batman will be R-rated? Most likely. K-Wing, you have merch? Yeah, I have a merch store. Will he wear the Batsuit? Keaton, yes. At least once or twice, probably. He'll wear the Batsuit as much as he did in his movies. Oh my gosh. Oh... Do you know how long Batman actually wore the Batsuit in Batman 89 and Batman Returns? It's not as long as you think. So, chances are of Keaton wearing the Batsuit are pretty high, but not very long. He doesn't like it. He's claustrophobic. He hates it. Especially if they make him... Oh my gosh, yes please. Put Keaton in the 89 or the return suit when he meets the other Flash. Oh, I would die. Oh, I would die. There's no way, though. He would never agree to it. He's probably just going to be Bruce Wayne behind a monitor, and they'll, like, show his suit in a thing. Or they'll make him a new suit. One of the things Keaton wants is he wants to make sure if they film in the summer that his suit has a built-in air conditioner like a lot of superhero suits do, because he was sweating to death in the 89 and Return suit. Because most of Batman Returns was shot on a soundstage, even though it was winter. It wasn't really winter. So he was sweltering inside the suit. Luke, who do you think would play Terry? I have no idea. Green Arrow, Zach needs a movie. No! We need Batmite. He'll save the DCU. No. It did help his performance, I agree. It made it more believable. No Red Hood movie? You were going to have a Red Hood movie before Zack Snyder offed Dick Grayson and killed the Bat family. Affleck was going to have Red Hood. Affleck was going to have a trilogy that was basically Arkham, Red Hood, and Hush. Did we get that? No. No. Because Dick Grayson was dead. Which means no Bat family was ever made. Dick Grayson is the start of the Bat family. Without Dick Grayson, there's no Bat family. There's no Barbara. There's no Jason. There's no Tim. There's no Damian. There's no anything. Dick is the first, and then all the other ones come out because they see him running around on rooftops in a colorful costume, fighting alongside a grown man in a bat suit, and they think, hey, I can do that too. And then they make a bat suit, and then they steal the tires off the Batmobile, and then they figure out who Batman and Robin is, and it just, you can see how it all stemmed from Dick Grayson. Barbara Gordon was inspired to become a costume vigilante because of Grayson, or Batman and Robin. Jason Todd, I forget why he stole the bat tires. It had something to do with Robin and Batman. Tim Drake was fascinated with Batman and Robin and learned their secret identities by basically tracking Dick Grayson. It all revolves around Robin and Batman. So without the OG Robin, you have no Bat family. Ever. And until people learn to respect that, you won't get a Red Hood. The reason why you got Red Hood, or you're getting him in Titans, is because you had Dick Grayson first. But also, you're getting Tim Drake in the same season. Madness! So you're giving us Red Hood, and then you're giving us Tim Drake in the same season. Okay? Makes sense. Not really. That's why I said they just throw ideas at the wall and see what sticks. Should they bring back the 89 Batmobile? Yes. Batmite and Batcow. Any other last questions about Keaton? Because I'm getting kind of tired. Do you think Red Hood will be in Young Justice Season 4? Probably Season 5. Agreed. Tim Drake, Dirtman. Tim Drake is in Titan Season 3. But you didn't... I've already said that. You want him to say, let's get nuts? Yeah, I kind of do too. Titans Dirt. How come it feels like Tim Drake has, like, no presence in DC right now? Because he doesn't. Keaton returns in the 1989 Batmobile. Sweet. Chris O'Donnell is Nightwing. Get out of here! Get out of here! No! No! Stop it! No! Although he actually talked to people about the Flash movie, they said no. Ha ha ha! Chris O'Donnell talked to Warner Brothers about the Flash movie. They said, nah. Nah. Just like they didn't even bother to call Clooney. At least Chris O'Donnell heard from them. They said, nope. Nope. Oh, HBO Max is going to have a Mira series? Boo. Boo. Get Amber Heard off. Do you think we'll get another Batman game? Eventually. You're getting a Bat Family game first. Be grateful. Punk. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, you'll probably get a Batman game eventually. I would guess like around the time of Matt Reeves' Batman movie. Because remember, they like to hype up stuff when there's a new movie. And the new movie's not until 2022, so I don't think the Suicide Squad will be the only, quote, DC property in 2022. They have a lot of ground to catch up. And Gotham Knights is kind of to wet everyone's whistle. And hopefully it's good. I think it's going to be good, but people are going to keep being like, I want to play as Batman. You can't. It's a Bat Family game. He's dead. Or he's a Court of Owls Talon now. Deal with it. It's a Nightwing, Red Hood, Batgirl, and Robin game. And that's what it is. But, of course, if people complain enough, you probably get Batman as DLC, but I don't know. And, you know, people who are upset about that, I mean, it's not... You're not wrong for wanting a Batman game. I want a Batman game, too. I'm a Batman channel, for crying out loud. But, you know, I like that they're doing something new for once. I can get behind that. And wait until they make another Batman game, because Batman is their cash cow. They're always going to make Batman games. Except for during their transition period when AT&T bought them. That's why we didn't have any other Batman games. So many stuff was canceled because Warner Brothers was up on the market and nobody knew what was going to happen to WB Games and some other studios. And all that stuff is settled finally, so now they'll start rolling out games. It's that simple. It's all business. It's all business. It's all connected. Rick Grayson sucks, and you suck. I'm gonna ban you. No, I'm not gonna ban you, but... Have you played the last... I'm not talking about that. Base. Would you ever consider voicing Batman for something if given the opportunity? I don't have a voice for Batman. I would do Nightwing. Or maybe Alfred. I could never do Batman. Come on. No way. Nope. I have a Robin voice and I know it. I'm fine with that. Let me do Red Hood. I'll do Red Hood. Would you recommend starting YouTube these days? No. Well, you're getting Keaton, so... You as a Riddler. Harsh! Come on, that's just mean. Lucas Jason. Yeah, I'd do Jason. I could do angst and rage. Young Burt Ward as Nightwing. No. No, Rick Grayson. Stop. Mean. You guys are mean. Dan Didio will make Batmite. Over my dead body, he will. Think you can do the whiny Jason voice from Arkham Knight? No, I'm not Troy Baker. Wait, was Troy Baker Jason? I don't remember who played Jason. Will Keaton and Affleck meet each other? No. Dan Didiot. I like that. Alright, this has gone on long enough. The new Batman family game sucks because no free flow comment. Let me be the judge of that when the game comes out. I'll let you know if it sucks or not. Because I've played every Arkham game known to man. I've played every Batman game known to man. I know it sucks and I know it's good. And I'll know within 5 minutes of the combat if it's something that's going to be a game I want to invest years into. Or something I just want to play through once and never touch again. You'll know. You'll know. Keaton returning to reprise the role. Yep. Yep, it's official. At least for now. Let's revisit this topic in March, shall we? If we revisit in March and the whole world changes, then the next video will be Affleck is DCEU Batman again. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that all the haters get to eat their words with Syndercut. But part of me is very nervous that it's going to suck just as much as Whedon's version, except it's going to be longer suckage. But there's another part of me that has hope that it's going to be awesome. But I become too much of a blasted cynic that I don't know anymore. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Because I don't know. Now you guys got me out of the hype moment, and I'm like in the truth serum thing because I'm so tired. No, I don't smoke. I don't do weed. I don't... I mean, I had like 4 brisk iced teas sitting here. I want Chris O'Donnell to be Batman, like how Rick Dick took over with Dame. I don't want Chris O'Donnell back. He doesn't know how to play Robin. Please, no. No, stop. Chris O'Donnell only knows how to play 90s Burt Ward version of Robin. No. Just leave Chris O'Donnell alone. Leave him out of these conversations. He doesn't need to be back. He needs to stay far, far away from anything Batman. Please. He had his chance, and... well, he wasn't terrible in Batman Forever, but... Batman and Robin... well, that happened. Oh, that happened. I don't hate him as Robin. I hate him as Robin in Batman and Robin. I thought he was decent in Batman Forever. Rick Grayson is evil. Kevin Conroy cameo in Flash would be cool. I don't know. K-Wing, you should be the voice actor for Cell. I don't think I can do anime, guys. Come on. You guys are gonna give me a swelled head. I have a radio voice. That's about it. Go to sleep, fam. Yeah, I think it's about time we end this podcast. Snyder Cut release date changed to Feb 18th. What? Are you serious? It's my birth. You're pulling my leg. That's mean. That'd be the best birthday ever, unless it sucks. Then it'd be the worst birthday ever. We do not talk about Batman and Robin. Yeah, you sound tired. I have to go edit. I have to edit tomorrow's videos. I have no idea what I'm streaming tomorrow either. I think I have to stream Valhalla tomorrow. Rick Grayson is death. That's right. Okay. Nope, I don't get sleep, guys. I have to edit. You should play Yakuza. I played Yakuza. It's fun. Do you like Batman the Killing Joke? I'm going to ban you right now. Wait. I'll give you a chance. Are you talking about the animated movie or the comic? Sleep is important, K-Wing. Imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger's returning as Mr. Freeze. It could happen in The Flash. Batman suit, black or blue? Either's fine. Chris O'Donnell is Hush. Will Keaton mention Alfred? Probably. Michael Keaton liked the guy who played Alfred, so I'm betting that there will be a portrait or maybe a picture in Wayne Manor for Alfred. There'll be some type of tribute for Alfred. Because, you know, he and Keaton worked well together. This has nothing to do with Batman, but do you have any info on the future of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid? I do, but I can't talk about it on this channel. So I will be making a video about Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, why the Scorpina thing was continued, and what the future is going to look like, based on things I've heard. And if people don't know, I actually have my ear to the ground in the Power Rangers community as well. And actually, what's funny is my Power Ranger contacts is much larger than my Warner Brothers ones. How did that happen? Someone explain to me how I have more contacts in Power Rangers than I do with WB Animation, WB, and DC Comics. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I like Power Rangers, but I don't know enough. I know more about Batman, and yet I have all this Power Ranger stuff. Hooray. I guess that's how life works. I don't know. When's your next video on Gotham Knights villains coming out? I have to redo it, or I'm gonna get hit with DMCA crap. K-Wing, do you think the Joker will be in Batman as a cameo? I don't know. Because WB doesn't like you. Ouch! Accurate and true. That's true. Alright, no more. You guys are talking about Chris O'Donnell. I'm gone. I'm eating myself. No more! No more horrible memories of Batman and Robin. I'm done. So if you guys are just joining, the podcast is ending. Keaton's coming back, yay. He is confirmed 100% for The Flash 2022 with Ben Affleck. And supposedly he has a substantial Nick Fury role in subsequent DC films with the possibility of, or not possibility, with the probability, the very high likelihood of a Batman Beyond movie with either Terry McGinnis, which I'm leaning toward, please, and more yikes, Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, or someone else just using the identity of Batgirl. Hooray, that's it, that's all. I turned this into a... How long have I been doing this? 2-hour, 40-minute podcast. Awesome. But you guys love this crap, so yay. Everybody asking about the Gotham Knights Part 2. I have to redo the video. I will. I'm just a lazy person. That's why I asked for an editor, because I think I deserve a new editor. I just don't want Travis to feel bad, but I can't pay this editor, so that makes me a jerk. It makes me no better than all the other YouTubers on YouTube. Just use people and take credit. But I don't take credit. What is it talking about? Alright, time to go. Alright, guys. I'm out.